Chapter 45-53. When Long Chen saw Feng Yu and others, he still looked alert. He couldn't believe his eyes. Long Chen had to come to them and lead them into the camp of Jinwu family. Dragon dust, what's going on? Feng Yu asked hurriedly. Not only her, but also all the strong people of the whole melting beast family seemed to be in a dream. The Jinwu family, which has always been overbearing and unreasonable, Long Chen said a few words to them and let them make way. Even if he saw all this with his own eyes, it is still unbelievable. Hey, the third master of the dragon runs around the world. They have heard a lot about my name and don't want to conflict with me. Naturally, they want to make way for us. Long Chen smiled. In fact, Long Chen came to the strong of the Jinwu family and directly threw out a burning leaf. That leaf is the leaf of Fusang ancient wood in chaotic space. It is said that Jinwu people inhabit Fusang ancient wood. Their flame will resonate with the flame of Fusang ancient wood, so they can absorb each other's strength and grow together. It is said that the strong of the Jinwu family, strong enough to a certain extent, will cultivate a seedling of Fusang ancient wood alone in the original life space and regard it as an associated sacred tree. These saplings are all branches picked from the ancient Fusang wood and transplanted into their original life space. Fusang ancient wood has always been the treasure of Jinwu family. Whoever dares to touch it will fight with who. Therefore, in the outside world, everyone knows Fusang ancient wood, but no one has ever seen it. When Long Chen threw out a leaf of Fusang ancient wood, it shocked the strong men of Jinwu family. Several experts surrounded Long Chen and asked where the Fusang leaves in Long Chen's hands came from. The reason why they were shocked was that the mulberry leaf in the hand of Long Chen was more pure than the mother tree they had grown for hundreds of millions of years. This discovery shocked them. Dragon dust naturally wouldn't tell them that it was planted by himself, but made up a story that he was lucky to get a branch, and the leaf is on the branch. Hearing that Long Chen has a branch of Fusang ancient wood, the strong men of Jinwu family suddenly have green eyes. Long Chen immediately knows that it's bad. These guys actually want to kill people and steal goods. Without saying anything, Long Chen directly threw the world stone containing a 3-foot-long and thumb-thick hibiscus twig to them. It's no use asking for it, but we should use it to exchange the right-of-way. The so-called right-of-way is to let the Jinwu family give up a way and let their own people pass. Long Chen shows that his goal is the wild animals. Seeing that Long Chen was going to attack the wild animals, they were shocked. You should know that there are millions of wild animals in front of them. The golden-haired monkey is not easy to provoke. Even they have been hesitant to compete with them. The roan beast family has only hundreds of thousands of people, and many people are not strong enough to plan to attack the wild beast family, which makes them very surprised. However, there is no loss for them to make way. In addition, after all, they can't refuse to accept the treasure of dragon dust. If they get benefits, they can watch the excitement. Why not? They even came up with the idea that if Long Chen and others could fight with the wild beast family, they might take advantage of the fire and destroy them all. Therefore, when Long Chen said his conditions, the proud and domineering Jinwu family did not refuse, but surprisingly cooperated with them. Feng Yu and others didn't understand the key. Naturally, they couldn't believe their eyes, and Long Chen didn't bother to explain so much, so he took them through the territory of Jinwu family. Just as the crowd stormed through the territory of the Jinwu family, Long Chen winked at the crowd and gave an extra burst ball in his hand. At that moment, everyone knew that the strong players assigned to the burst ball were ready. At the same time, Long Chen even planned the location of their attack. He wanted to make the burst range cover the whole wild beast family without leaving a dead corner. Under the cover of the flame of the Jinwu family, Long Chen threw the burst ball in his hand, and others followed suit. Dozens of burst balls accurately fell into the camp of the wild beast family. The wild beasts have no dike against the Jinwu clan, because even if the Jinwu clan wants to compete with them, it is also a trial attack first, and then go to find out slowly. If there is a great disparity between the strong and the weak, the strong side will launch a fierce attack. If the strength is almost the same, they usually don't go shopping, because no one can afford the cost of shopping. Seeing through this, the wild beasts were resting in place. As a result, when they relaxed, dozens of burst balls fell into the sky. When they were alert, it was too late. Boom boom. The burst ball burst open, and countless pieces of fairy gold flew through the bodies of those monsters. Even if they were rough and thick, they were like paper paste in front of sharp pieces. A fragment will often pass through the bodies of several wild animals before its strength will fail. After its strength fails, those fragments will burst open and form damage again. Fragments of power failure often stay in the flesh. When these fragments explode in the body of wild animals, they will cause super terrible damage. Dozens of exploding balls broke at the same time. Countless strong people of the wild beast family were blown to pieces on the spot. Even some powerful creatures escaped, but they were all hurt. The golden-haired macaques, the core of the wild beast family, are the focus of Longchen. Although he showed a burst ball, he actually threw 5, and the 5 burst balls didn't explode at the same time, but exploded one by one. This round of bombing has devastated the wild animals. Most importantly, they are not prepared at all. Millions of wild animals were killed by the explosion. Even if they didn't die, they were all injured and half of their lives were lost. Their leader, the golden macaques, was even worse. Only a few hundred of the tens of thousands of golden macaques were still alive, and all the others were dead. GG. One of the leaders of the golden monkey screamed and seemed to be giving orders. At this time, a golden spear came through the air, and the roaring wind changed the world. Feng Yu was the first to kill out. As soon as she shot, she was an unreserved kill. The leader of the golden-haired monkey family, wearing a golden crown and holding a dark long stick, saw Feng Yu killing, and immediately his eyes rolled with killing intention. His golden hair stood upright, and the violent blood burst out. He killed Feng Yu with a stick. Boom, a startling explosion, 2 magic soldiers collided, which shook the whole world, and the violent vigorous wind swept through the sky. GG. At this time, 2 figures appeared in the golden-haired monkey. When Longchen saw them, he recognized them as the 2 monkeys who secretly attacked the melting beast family and were later rescued. Seeing them appear, Longchen's golden crossbow pulled the trigger and a golden light flashed. Poof, one of the monkeys screamed, covered his ass with his claws and rushed to the sky. Familiar formula, familiar taste. Longchen shot an arrow, smiled, waved his hand, and killed the strong men of the melting beast family. www.milovenovel.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4554 Brothers, don't be afraid. These living guys are more or less injured. It's easy for us to kill them. The highlight moment of the melting beast family is coming. No one here is a supporting role, all of them are protagonists. Come on. Use the enemy's blood to illuminate the glory of the melting beast family. Use your bravery to engrave the name of the melting beast family in the depths of everyone's soul. In the future, the melting beast family is synonymous with fearlessness. No matter who is the enemy of the melting beast family, we will make him pay an unbearable price. Dragon Dust shouted. Dragon Dust is handy for boosting morale, and the melting beast family has never heard such an impassioned oath before. Even ordinary people are excited to hear these domineering and endless words, but it's really fatal for the beast melting people who have been suppressed and bullied for a long time. At that moment, the strong men of the beast family had red eyes, just like a flame burning. In the face of the former enemies, they burst out the most primitive desire to kill. Puff puff. The strong people of the melting beast family attack frantically as if they don't want money for their own life. The combat power they show makes countless war watchers afraid of it. Boom, with a startling explosion, the leader of the golden-haired monkey family who fought fiercely with Feng Yu was shocked by Feng Yu, and a mouthful of blood gushed out. This scene startled Longchen. When he looked at Feng Yu, he found that Feng Yu seemed to have changed a person, and the runes all over his body circulated. Even on his smooth cheeks, there were symmetrical ancient phoenix patterns. At this time, the phoenix is quiet, just like the awakening of the ancient phoenix. The chi and blood burns most of the sky, and the power covers the universe. Ill go. Dragon Dust didn't expect that Feng Yu was the most serious one who was bewitched by him. Fengious blood essence burned and bloomed. Even the Jinwu people who made way for them were afraid. Dead, Feng Yu holds a golden spear and kills the leader of the golden monkey. Before, the leader of the golden monkey can fight with Feng Yu. However, after Longchen's deception, Feng Yu broke out completely. Each blow shocked it back and couldn't catch a move. GG. Suddenly, the void around dragon dust twisted, and a figure suddenly appeared. It was the golden monkey whose ass was shot by dragon dust. It didn't know what magic power it used. It appeared behind the dragon dust like a blink, but at the moment he appeared, the dragon dust didn't look at it, and it was a slap when he shook his hand. To the surprise of countless spectators, the moment when Longchen slapped seemed to be before the golden monkey appeared, and Longchen slapped across the void, and the golden monkey just appeared. Pa! A burst of noise, as if the golden monkey actively blocked the whereabouts of Longchen's palm with its face. When the palm touched the monkey's face, the purple thunder symbol flashed again. The golden monkey's head was photographed and collapsed, but to the shock of Longchen, the golden monkey's head was so strong that it didn't break. I should work harder. Seeing that he failed to shoot the golden monkey, Lei Linger immediately regretted. Enough, Longchen smiled. If Lei Linger tried harder, he could shoot the monkey to death, but Longchen's hand would also be hurt. This power is enough. Puff puff. Although the golden monkey was not shot dead, it was still photographed with Venus in its eyes under the slap of dragon dust. For a moment, it lost consciousness and was directly torn to pieces by other strong men of the melting beast family. Poof, Longchen has just killed the golden monkey, and the Feng Yu spear over there is so fierce that the golden monkey leader spits blood again. GG. The leader of the golden-haired monkey family suddenly yelled and ran away with a blow from Feng Yu. As soon as it escaped, the whole golden-haired macaque family was completely disordered and fled one after another, but they were surrounded. Under the flicker of dragon dust, the melting beast family was completely crazy. They were feuds. How could they let them go? Feng Yu didn't go after the leader of the golden macaque family. She rushed to another super strong person of the golden macaque family. As a result, one of them was shot and killed. In the chaotic space of Longchen, a Tiandao fruit with 6 star marks appears again on the Tiandao tree. The golden monkey killed by Longchen also provides Longchen with a Tiandao fruit with 6 star marks. In addition to the 6 star Tiandao fruit, the Tiandao tree is also full of Tiandao fruit, and the Tiandao fruit on the earth is piled up like a mountain, which is about to bury the Tiandao tree. It seems that the guy who escaped should be a 7-star destiny, the same level as Feng Yu. Longchen looked at the heavenly fruit on the heavenly tree and thought deeply. So far, Feng Yu is the strongest among the fateful people encountered by Longchen. It should be at the same level as the leader of the golden-haired monkey family who just escaped, Ning Tian. But before Feng Yu, she was not so strong. According to Longchen's estimation, she was also a 6-star destiny. It was only after she obtained the inheritance of her ancestors that she became so strong. In other words, the level of destiny can be changed by the day after tomorrow. I just don't know whether there are 8 or even 9 stars above the 7-star destiny. While Longchen was thinking, the roar of the strong people of the melting beast family brought Longchen back to reality. The melting beast family finished the fierce battle and looked at the corpses all over the ground, especially those of the golden macaque family. They were very excited one by one. For many years, they had been bullied by the golden macaque family, and now they are finally ashamed. Fenjia's whole body is burning with flame, just like the female god of war. She just killed countless powerful people of golden-haired macaques in one breath. No one can stop her except the 6-star destiny. At this time, although the strong men of the melting beast family had just experienced a bloody battle, everyone had high morale and was unstoppable like a sharp blade out of the scabbard. Taking advantage of the peak state of the melting beast family, Longchen collected the corpses on the battlefield into the chaotic space without any repair and continued to move forward with them. In front of the wild beast family, there was a team of strong demons. When Feng Yu came side by side with Longchen, they didn't say anything and gave way directly. They also saw that the melting beast family at this time was unstoppable. Whoever fought with them would suffer. However, this momentum, such as the storm, cannot last. Once the spirit is released, there is no room to look back. In their view, the behavior of melting animals is extremely stupid. Therefore, they do not want to make enemies with stupid people, otherwise they will become stupid and give up their position directly. Long Chen seemed to have known this for a long time, so he took the strong ones of the melting beast family all the way forward, because the bloody battle between the melting beast family and the golden-haired monkey family was too noisy, and countless people saw it. Seeing that the melting beast family was like a madman, they were unwilling to compete with a group of madmen and gave way one after another. They chose to stand idly by. Because the more forward, the more experts there are. When a force whose strength far exceeds that of the melting beast family appears, the melting beast family will hit the iron plate, and the consequence of hitting the iron plate is the annihilation of the whole army. At this time, the melting beast family was almost crazy. Seeing those powerful forces, they avoided their edge one after another, which made their hearts extremely excited. Even if they could not enter the magic world, they were satisfied. Maybe outsiders can't understand them, but only they know that they have been unrecognized, bullied, and slaughtered for countless years. The sense of existence is more important to them than anything. After passing through more than a dozen forces in a row, Long Chen finally waved to stop the team. There appeared a group of creatures wrapped in black gas in front of them. The breath of death on them made the strong men of the melting beast family feel cold. When Long Chen and others arrived, a bald man who was tall like an iron tower came out of those creatures. His appearance made Feng Yu hold the long gun in her hand for a moment. www.milovenovel.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 45-55, The Breath of the Underworld. When Long Chen saw the bald man, he suddenly felt cold. When he saw the bald man at first sight, Long Chen suddenly showed the appearance of black sky in his mind. What makes Long Chen feel strange is that their breath is somewhat similar, but their essence is completely different, because in this person, there is the breath of the dark family in the underworld. However, Wu Tian is a member of the Ming clan and has a deep hatred with Yu clan. If this person is of the same clan as Wu Tian, he will never have the smell of Yu clan. When Long Chen saw the bald man also saw Long Chen. When the two people's eyes were opposite, the breath in Long Chen's body quickly circulated. This person was extremely dangerous and even stimulated Long Chen's defense instinct. If you let this big man close to yourself, the power of the stars of dragon dust will automatically explode. At that time, there will be no way to hide his strength. Feng Yu looked at the bald man. Her eyes were full of alert color. She held the golden long gun tightly. Her intuition told her that the bald man was extremely dangerous. Terran? Why do you smell like I hate you? The bald man did not move on, but looked at him coldly. The distance between them is very mysterious. If he takes another step forward, the power of the stars of dragon dust will be activated automatically. Dragon dust can see that this person also hides his strength. Similarly, if he takes another step forward and is affected by the breath of dragon dust, his strength will automatically explode. Obviously, he doesn't want to expose his strength. It's simple. You hate me because I have more hair than you. Dragon dust shrugged and smiled. If the dragon dust makes such a sentence at ordinary times, Feng Yu and others will be amused, but no one laughs at this time. Instead, Feng Yu feels numb in her soul and silently holds the golden shield in her hand and is ready to fight at any time. The bald man's eyes were cold. A group of strong men around him looked gloomy and held weapons one after another. At that moment, the strong men of the beast family were also ready to fight. Under the tension of the two forces, other forces around retreated one after another. The originally crowded world suddenly became loose, leaving them a large open space for fierce fighting. In fact, it's not far from the gate of the world. Most of the people who can come here don't come here. As a super strong person, sometimes one action and one look are enough to deter the other party and let the other party let the way out. Therefore, those who can get to this position are the strong among the strong. There are constant wars in the peripheral areas, but it is much calmer here. However, once the strong here start, it will be a world-shaking war. Therefore, the strong around them consciously give up a piece of space for them. Dragon dust, be careful. I'm not sure to beat him. Feng Yu whispered to Longchen. Don't be careful, I'm not sure to beat you. The bald man spoke softly. Feng Yu is surprised. She speaks to Longchen's soul. It is reasonable that only she and Longchen know, and the other party even heard it. What's more, there is a sinister and cunning Terran here. We should be careful. The bald man continued. Listening to the bald man's words surprised Feng Yu and the strong people of the melting beast family. The bald man paid so much attention to the dragon dust. However, dragon dust's various tricks emerge one after another, and they really deserve the comment of sinister and cunning. They think that the bald man scruples about dragon dust's sinister means, but they don't know that what he really scruples about is dragon dust's real strength. A smart head doesn't grow hair. It seems that the legend is true. I'm curious. Are you from the underworld or the local strong? Longchen smiled and pretended to be a familiar tunnel. The bald man didn't directly answer Longchen, but looked at Longchen and said, I don't like Terrans, but I can't say I hate them, but when I see you, I have an aversion from the depths of my soul. Can you tell me why? Didn't you say that? The contradiction between you and me lies in my dark and thick hair. Dragon dust pointed to his hair. Longchen ridiculed the bald strong man twice. The strong men around the bald strong man began to be uncontrollable. The green veins on their foreheads burst up and their eyes showed fierce light. That look wanted to break Longchen into pieces. However, the bald man was very cold and didn't look angry at all. His eyes kept staring at Longchen, as if he wanted to penetrate the soul of Longchen and see him through. Dragon Dust suddenly smiled. You want to know my secret, I also want to know your secret, but I ask you, you don't answer, you ask me, I want answer. How about a question exchange? You ask me one, I answer one, and then I ask you one, you answer one. That's good, but the Terran is insidious and cunning. How do I know if what you say is true or false? The bald man said. A look of disdain appeared at the corner of Longchen's mouth. If you can say such words, it means that you are not at the same level as me. Forget it. Just think I didn't say anything. Get out of the way. I want to go. As soon as Longchen said this, Feng Yu and others were startled. Did Longchen let such a terrible group of people make way? The bald man frowned and said with a look of hesitation in his eyes, Well, I'll believe you once. Let me ask you first, how can you have the smell of the underworld Protoss? Because my woman is a Protoss in the underworld. Longchen smiled and answered his question. Next, it's my turn. I ask you, what's your relationship with the Santong-swallowing beast family? Dragon Dust asked. Longchen's question immediately changed the bald man's face. This is his secret. Even the people around him don't know this secret. Who the hell are you? The bald man snapped. As soon as he changed his previous calm, he became murderous in an instant, while his men with weapons in hand climbed in an instant, and the violent pressure swept through the sky. The strong people of the melting beast family, facing the terrible pressure, couldn't help but step back. It's not that they are not brave enough, but that they are afraid from the depths of their soul. Feng Yu is holding a long gun and a big shield, standing in front of Longchen and ready to fight at any time. Instead, Longchen smiled and motioned Feng Yu not to be nervous. He looked at the bald man faintly. Answer me. The boy wants to die, but he desecrates Lord Wuhuan one after another. The bald man pointed at the dragon dust with a heavy sword and shouted loudly. Answer my question, or don't blame me for being cruel. The smile on Longchen's face disappeared in an instant and was replaced by a dark face. At that moment, the whole world seemed to fall into an ice cellar. The biting killing intention made the way of heaven tremble. When he heard the man's name, Longchen understood in an instant that this man was a traitor of the three heaven-swallowing beasts. www.mylovenival.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4556. When the dragon dust released its killing intention, the whole world seemed to fall into the field of death. Everyone felt their soul tremble, as if there was an invisible blade around their neck. Even Feng Yu and others can't help but be shocked. The killing intention released by dragon dust is with real energy. In front of this killing intention, even the Tao of Heaven is shaking. This shows that in the hands of dragon dust, countless creatures have disappeared, otherwise it is impossible to condense such murderous spirit. She seemed to know dragon dust for the first time. Her big eyes were full of shock. She never thought that dragon dust, who has always been able to resist the enemy only by external forces and skills, could have such a terrible murderous spirit. Although she knows that dragon dust has countless tricks, it seems that no one in the world can condense such murderous spirit in the second way. Long Chen looked coldly at the bald man called Wu Hun. He had moved to kill, but he was hesitating whether to kill the traitor now. After all, Wu Tian is his eldest brother, and he has the responsibility to clean up the door for him. However, Long Chen has some taboos, because he is alone and no one is afraid, but the Melting Beast family is around him. If there is a war together, it will affect the Melting Beast family. Although he has been with the Melting Beast family for a short time, Long Chen knows their character. Once he does it himself, each of them will not shrink back, even if he knows he will die. If the strong man of the Melting Beast family dies because of his own affairs, Long Chen will feel guilty. Therefore, under this contradiction, Long Chen handed over the decision to Wu Hun. If Wu Hun answers, everything is easy to say. If Wu Hun doesn't answer, dragon dust will break out with all its strength, kill all enemies in the shortest time and minimize casualties. When dragon dust threatened Wu Hun, his men were filled with righteous indignation one by one, as if they had never been so angry in their life. Their hands holding weapons were shaking. For a time, the air was frozen, and the world lost its voice. Long Chen and Wu Hun looked at each other, and their eyes were cold. I, Wu Hun, am the successor of the blood of the three Tong Tian swallowing beast. Wu Hun said coldly, I answer your question not because I'm afraid of you, but because of my pride. I'm not allowed to break my promise. Feng Yu didn't expect that Wu Hun really chose to answer the question of Long Chen. Although Wu Hun made a supplement, Feng Yu could see that Wu Hun was very afraid of Long Chen. The inheritor of the three lynx swallowing beasts? After hearing Wu Hun's answer, Long Chen was shocked. Although Wu Hun left a heart, this answer obviously avoided the important and took the light, but Long Chen was so smart that he heard the key at once. Blood successor, then it means that he is not a real three-way sky-swallowing beast. No wonder he has only one head, which is completely different from the image of Wu Tian. In other words, only a part of the blood of the three-way swallowing beasts flowed in Wu Hun's body, but how this blood came from, I'm afraid it's a big secret. I ask you, what is your relationship with the Santong swallowing beasts? This time it was Wu Hun's turn to ask coldly. At this point, his eyes became extremely sharp. Well, if I answer this question, you need to answer my next question. Dragon Dust Light Tunnel. Hearing Long Chen's words, Wu Hun's face changed. Before, he wasted a question and asked an unimportant question, and Long Chen's question directly hit his secret. If Dragon Dust's next question really involves his core secret, does he say it or not? Okay, that's all for today, boy. I remember you. Well, deal with each other slowly in the future. His face was dark and gloomy. Wu Hun's meaning is obvious. He doesn't intend to exchange problems with Long Chen anymore, nor does he intend to fight with Long Chen here. But the next time we meet, without any scruples, he will have a real duel with Long Chen. At that time, all the secrets of Long Chen are his. To put it bluntly, what Long Chen cares about is exactly what he cares about. He also wants to compete with Long Chen alone, but the conditions do not allow him to do so. Long Chen nodded. I'd like to go together. I'm also very interested in you. I hope we can meet next time. Don't wait too long. Long Chen said and made a gesture, get out of the way. You. This action of dragon dust made the strong men around Wu Hun angry, but Wu Hun stopped them and motioned them to make way. Go. As soon as Long Chen waved his hand, he swaggered through the strong people such as Wu Hun. Long Chen didn't even look at the killing eyes of those strong people under Wu Hun. The strong people of the Melting Beast family are numb at this time. You know, the strength of these people is very terrible. Compared with them, the gap between the melting beast family and them is huge. However, although they are uneasy, they have to be calm and bite their teeth in secret. They must not show timidity. This is a good opportunity to become famous. They must not be counseled. Long Chun led the melting beast family out of the Yozu camp. Countless powerful people around looked at them in horror. In fact, they all know the terror of Wuhuan and are ready to make concessions at any time. However, Wuhuan doesn't seem to be in a hurry to move forward. They can only be on guard. Once they take action, they will make way immediately. But what they didn't expect was that the black hun that frightened them made way for others. When the dragon dust passes through the Yozu, the forces in front of him, without waiting for the dragon dust to speak, directly give up a channel for the dragon dust and others to pass through. Are you kidding? The black hun can't afford to provoke them. Through the territory of 3 forces in a row, there are still people making way in front. However, Long Chen did not continue to move forward, but chose to let everyone repair in situ. At this time, the strong people of the melting beast family looked at Long Chen with a touch of awe in their eyes. Even those who like to tease Long Chen at ordinary times have a stiff face and dare not joke with Long Chen at will. They are not fools. Although Long Chen has never really revealed any unique skills, they know that the real strength of Long Chen is definitely not what they see from the overbearing dialogue between Long Chen and Wu Tian. Dragon dust, thank you. Feng Yu looks at Long Chen with a complex color in her eyes and a touch of loss. Now she finally understands that Long Chen is the real strong one. All the weak performances of Long Chen made her think that it was to take care of her, accommodate her and help her establish the most glorious image in front of her people. At the thought of what she once said to Long Chen, she was full of guilt and even looked down on herself. Don't say that between us. Long Chen grinned and blinked at Feng Yu. He still liked the super large beauty in front of him. Her purity and frankness made him feel very comfortable. Of course, this kind of love has nothing to do with the love between men and women. While everyone was in place, Long Chen took out an array disc. When 7 runes lit up on the array disc, a knowing smile appeared on Long Chen's face. Finally, www.mylovenival.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4557. A rune on the array disc lights up, and Long Chen can sense the general orientation of Xia Chen and others. When the 7 runes light up, Long Chen can simply communicate with Guoran and others. The 7 array plates in Long Chen's hand lit up at the same time, and then began to flicker regularly. Seeing these 2 times, Long Chen suddenly showed a smile on the corner of his mouth, and a hanging heart finally put it down. Dragon dust, what is this? Why are you so happy? Feng Yu stood beside Long Chen and looked at the array plate in Long Chen's hand. She looked puzzled. She showed a relieved expression when she saw Long Chen for the first time. I got in touch with my brothers. They are fine and everything is safe. Dragon dust smiled. The 7 runes flickered rhythmically, which was a kind of code language that only they knew. Xia Chen sent a message that everything was very smooth. All the Dragon Blood Legions had gathered, and no one was surprised. Another good news is that on the way to the virtual spirit world, the Dragon Blood Legion met brothers from other worlds, and the Terrans of the Dragon Blood Legion increased again. At this time, they are on the edge and are hesitating whether to attack the core area of the gate. Because on the way here, they have experienced a large number of hundreds of battles, and they are targeted by strong players from all walks of life. Guoran is worried that if they are too close to the core area, they are likely to be attacked by groups. However, if not close to the core area, many brothers may not know that they have arrived and miss the opportunity to meet each other in vain. Therefore, Guoran becomes very tangled. Dragon dust drives the array disc. The array disc keeps flashing. Dragon dust tells them not to act rashly and continue to bear it. At the same time, Dragon dust begins to inject the best spiritual stones into the array disc. After a while, the array plate began to fluctuate, and a fist-sized vortex appeared on it. It's a mini gate of transmission, because the distance is too far away and the power of space is extremely chaotic. This mini gate of space can only transmit objects, but not people. When the gate of space appeared, Long Chen quickly collected the highest heavenly fruit in the chaotic space. In addition to 3 6-star heavenly fruit, there were dozens of 5-star heavenly fruit, and the rest were all 4-star heavenly fruit, totaling more than 10,000. Dragon Dust put these heavenly fruits into the World Stone, and then carefully sent the World Stone into the door of that space. Buzz, the door of space trembled, and the World Stone in Long Chen's hand disappeared instantly. Long Chen breathed a long sigh of relief. This transmission has a great probability of failure. However, the failure was basically manifested at the moment of transmission. This time, Long Chen succeeded. Click! The array disk in Long Chen's hand suddenly fell apart, and the runes on it quickly dimmed down. Long Chen knew it would be like this for a long time. When the transmission is completed, the array plate will die. This array plate is extremely precious. Xia Chen has created 2 pieces in total to enable long-distance communication and mutual transmission. Although the array disk was destroyed, the Dragon Dust lost the opportunity to contact Xia Chen and others, but it was worth everything to use it to transmit so many heavenly fruits. You know, the Dragon Blood Legion needed them very much at this time. Especially those brothers who have just been found, they may not all have a good chance. The fruit of this day is their chance to change their lives against the sky. Sending the heavenly fruit away, Long Chen looked at millions of heavenly fruit in the chaotic space and began to worry. What's the use of so many fruits? Is it used to extract juice? Dragon Dust is a little distressed. Their use is amazing, but you don't have the ability to use them. At this time, the voice of Heaven and Earth Tripod came from Long Chen's mind. Elder, what ability do I lack? Hearing the words of the Heaven and Earth Tripod, Long Chen couldn't help but be overjoyed and asked quickly. When you are promoted to heaven and have the power of 3 talents, you can refine the elixir of melting heaven. You can refine these heavenly fruits into elixir. Heaven and Earth Ding Dao. Refining them into pills? What's the use? I can improve my brothers without refining them. Dragon Dust was stunned. The refining I'm talking about is not 1-to-1 refining, but refining a higher-level destiny pill with 99 destiny fruits of the same level. Heaven and Earth Ding Dao. Are you telling the truth? Even with the calmness of Long Chen, he was so frightened that he stuttered. But you don't have to be happy too early. You want to refine the destiny pill. It's really going against the sky. In addition to being promoted to heaven and mastering the 3 talents of heaven, earth, and man, you also need to condense the fire of destiny. Only the fire of destiny can refine the elixir of destiny, and only the fire of destiny can refine the elixir of destiny, which can be recognized by the laws of the world and can be changed against the sky. Heaven and Earth Ding Dao. What is the fire of destiny? Dragon Dust hurriedly asked. To condense the fire of destiny, you need to be tested in the sea of chaos and fire. Forget it. This is too long. I'll tell you after you are promoted to heaven. Heaven and Earth Ding Dao. Hearing this from the Heaven and Earth Tripod, the excited mood of Long Chen just seemed to be poured with cold water. Listening to its tone, it seemed that he wanted to condense the fire of destiny. I'm afraid it would be as difficult as heaven. However, if Chen Kuan-Ding can tell him this, it proves that Chen Kuan-Ding thinks he has a chance, otherwise it won't waste time saying this. Boom! At this time, the roar of the outside world pulled Long Chen's mind out of the chaotic space. Suddenly, Long Chen was shocked to find that the whole world changed from day to night, and then saw a huge war horse coming from a distance. The war horse was huge, like a high mountain. Its breath was terrible. It was not under the Holy King. The most shocking thing is that it has no flesh and blood, only white bones, and the bridle and saddle have been worn. It is like a war horse from hell. Every step, the whole world is shaking. This is nothing. As the white-bone war horse moved slowly forward, people soon saw a huge bronze chariot behind the war horse. The bronze chariot is rusty, but its shape is high and ancient, and its momentum is amazing. As the wheel slowly runs over the void, people's souls are shocked, as if it runs over not the void, but the souls of people. The white-bone war horse moved forward slowly, but the speed was very fast. Long Chen had just seen the shape of the chariot, and the chariot had come to the top of Long Chen's head. At this time, countless people began to hold their heads in pain, as if they would burst if they didn't press them hard. Originally, flying here would be attacked by the crowd, but when the white bone war horse and bronze chariot appeared, everyone dared not say a word. Their eyes showed fear. Where dare they stop? The Terran boy below, why do you have the smell of Protoss? Just then, a cold sound came from the chariot. As soon as the sound came out, the world shook together, just like the war drum of the God of Heaven, ringing through the whole world. www.milovenival.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 45-58 White bone war horses pulled bronze chariots, and the whole world trembled because of their appearance. No one dared to stop it and let it fly arrogantly over his head. No one dared to say a word. All were frightened by its breath. The bronze chariot stopped at the head of the melting beast family. When the voice came, the strong men of the melting beast family suddenly mentioned their hearts. When they looked at Long Chen, they couldn't help but be shocked. What's the identity of Long Chen? It once again attracted the attention of the strong terrorist. It was the dark Hun of the Yozu before, but now it is this mysterious terrorist existence. Long Chen was in a good mood, but seeing such an arrogant guy appear, he was very upset. In the words of Third Master Long, you can be arrogant, but you must not be more arrogant than Third Master Long. In the face of that cold and arrogant meaning, it was like the god overlooking the mole ants, which made Long Chen angry at once. Get out, Long Chen didn't say much. He directly used a concise word to express his unhappiness in his heart. Dragon Dust's words shocked countless people. What's the origin of this guy that dares to talk to that terrible strong man like this? You know, not to mention the existence of the people in the chariot, the white bone war horse alone is enough to frighten countless top strongmen. Feng Yu tightly grasped the golden spear in her hand and was ready to fight at any time. At this time, she had no time to be afraid. Ignorant fool, do you know who you're talking to? In the golden chariot, the voice had Sin Lung's killing intention. It was obvious that he was angry. I don't like who I love. Go away quickly, or I'll smash your tortoise shell today. Dragon Dust is not polite. Although the bronze chariot smells terrible, Long Chen believes that as long as he uses the heaven and earth tripod, he can definitely smash the chariot. The key is whether the heaven and earth tripod is willing to help him. Long Chen was very upset when he heard the sound. Long Chen didn't know why. The feeling was similar to that when he saw Wu Hun. However, Long Chen was unhappy with Wu Hun because he recognized his identity and knew that he was a traitor of the three lynx-swallowing beasts. But this person, Long Chen doesn't know who he is, let alone his identity and origin, but just hearing his voice, he doesn't know why, which makes Long Chen angry, and even has the impulse to find him out and beat him immediately. It's like when Long Chen walks barefoot in ragged clothes. At this time, a man in a luxurious carriage makes a mockery of Long Chen. That feeling makes people very unhappy. However, what Long Chen doesn't know is that the smell that annoys him is not from his jealousy, but from the depths of his soul. The ignorant are fearless. If we kill you specifically, it would be very flattering. A weak mole ant is not worth the dragon's shot, but if you provoke the great gods, you will eventually pay the price. The man sneered. Boom! The white bone war horse walked forward again, pulled the bronze chariot, and continued to move forward without paying attention to the dragon dust. You're so sick. What nonsense are you talking about? There's no logic. People can't understand it. Dragon Dust cursed loudly. How can mole ants understand the language of the gods? Cause and effect have been contaminated, and you will eventually die in my hands. It's just direct or indirect. It depends on your nature. The chariot had gone far, and the man's sneer came from afar. Dragon Dust was so angry that he almost didn't come up at one breath. He has seen someone who can pretend to be forced. He hasn't seen anyone who can pretend to be forced. Today, Dragon Dust has opened his eyes. Dragon Dust, who is he? Seeing the bronze chariot go away, Feng Yu finally let her hanging heart down. After a sigh of relief, she couldn't help asking. That's the guy from the underworld Protoss. Wait, The underworld Protoss? Dragon Dust suddenly thought of something. The underworld is divided into 3 races, Yu, Ming and Protoss. Yu and Ming have the same potential of water and fire. Meeting is a shopping spree. In addition to hatred, they can no longer be expressed in words. In the underworld, the Protoss does not participate in the struggle between the 2 races, and the 2 races do not want to build strong enemies. Therefore, the Protoss can coexist peacefully with both of them. Although there are some small frictions, there has never been a big war. Before, the man asked why there was the smell of the underworld Protoss on Long Chen. Long Chen didn't take it seriously because he had been asked by Wu Hun before. Although he recognized that the man had the smell of the underworld Protoss, he didn't think deeper because he was too arrogant. Now Feng Yu asks, Long Chen suddenly remembers that this guy, like Leng Yueyan and Ming Zongyue, is the strong man of the divine family in the underworld. At the thought of Leng Yueyan and Ming Kangyu's beautiful face without any defects, the anger in Long Chen's heart disappeared for a moment and was replaced by a deep longing for them. Oh, I shouldn't have been so angry just now. Maybe I can ask them for news from him, or even ask about brother Wu Tian. Long Chen was so regretful that he patted his thigh. Long Chen is most worried about Leng Yueyan and Ming Zangyu. They are helpless. In the dangerous and endless underworld, they are like a boat competing to cross the sea, which is extremely dangerous. In addition, most of the forces in the underworld are controlled by the Dark Family. The Dark Family is on the verge of collapse. It is difficult for Wu Tian to revive the Dark Family. Moreover, the Yozu will never give him a chance to grow up and will mobilize all forces to deal with him. It can be said that his situation is more dangerous than Long Chen. Long Chen is full of concern for the righteous big brother. Therefore, why did Long Chen almost run away on the spot when he saw the traitor Wu Hun? The underworld Protoss? How could that man be so terrible? In fact, you shouldn't defend him. Feng Yu sighed. Long Chen smiled, patted the fragrant shoulder afraid of Feng Yu and said, On the road of cultivation, there is endless blood. Many things don't mean that you can bear it and pass. Your tolerance will only make the enemy advance an inch and press step by step. When you are forced to the edge of the cliff, it's too late to fight back. Like the guy just now, he can't get used to him, otherwise he will think I'm easy to bully. When I answer his first question, I need to answer all his questions, otherwise, he will act immediately. When I let him go, he knows I'm not afraid of him. If he wants to fight, he needs to weigh his strength first. Feng Yu suddenly realized, You're smart. He doesn't know your reality, so he doesn't dare to do it. Enemy, Long Chen smiled. But what if he wasn't frightened? Feng Yu couldn't help saying. Long Chen smiled and didn't make a sound, but he thought in his heart that if he didn't scare him away, he would blow his dog's head and let him know that pretending to force in front of the third master of the dragon needs to pay a price. Boom! Just then, the door of the world ahead roared and burst, and Feng Yu and others suddenly became nervous. The magic world is about to open. Feng Yu's voice trembled. www.milovenival.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 45-59 Inquire about the reputation. Sure enough, as Feng Yu said, the huge door of space began to tremble slightly, and the terrible vortex was rapidly blooming. Go away if you don't want to die. Just then, a roar came, and a bald man, led by countless strong men, rushed here like destroying Gulen. The man was no other than Wu Hun, the leader of the Yu family. The whole powerful people of the Yu family became violent. They changed their previous low key and began to rush forward quickly. Anyone who dared to stop in front of them was killed by violence. At the same time, the whole battlefield was in chaos for a moment. At this time, those guys who had hidden their strength, like Wu Hun, began to break out with all their strength and rush to the gate quickly. Dragon Dust, the scene is chaotic at this time. Take advantage of the chaos and go to the entrance of the virtual spirit world. Feng Yu looks at Long Chen with a trace of reluctance in her big eyes. But she knew that this was the best chance for Long Chen to leave. Taking advantage of the chaos and his strength, it was the most appropriate to go around here, whether it was distance or security. Feng Yu has thought about it. When Long Chen leaves, she will lead the melting beast family to stick to this place. When the strongest wave passes, she will take people to rush and avoid the strongest group of people. She is still able to protect the family from completely rushing into the gate of the magic spirit world. As long as she can enter the gate, she will win. Long Chen is worried that after he leaves, some strong people around him will fight against the melting beast family. However, as Feng Yu said, this is the best time for Long Chen to leave. Just as Long Chen was about to speak, the voice of the heaven and earth tripod sounded in his mind. It's not necessary at all. Just go in through the entrance of the illusory world. After entering, I can help you break the barriers of the illusory world. It's easy for you to go to the illusory world. In addition, most of the entrances to the magic world are strong local people. Although the people here are powerful, they don't know many treasures, especially precious drugs and fairy minerals. Can you really break the world barrier? Dragon Dust exclaimed. Of course, it's easy. The heaven and earth tripod was light and authentic, with a trace of disdain in its tone. Obviously, this kind of thing is not a thing for it at all. Does that also mean that even if I didn't enter the 9-day world from the door of the world, you still have a way to send me in? Dragon Dust asked. Of course, the heaven and earth tripod said. However, if you take this shortcut, you will be contaminated with unknown cause and effect. If you don't do it well, you will be killed. But it's different here. The so-called 9-day world is just a channel. Breaking the world barrier here will not be contaminated with any cause and effect. I see. Dragon Dust's heart is in full bloom. With heaven and earth tripod, everything is not a problem. Dragon Dust, let's go. It's too late if we don't go again. Feng Yu saw that Long Chen was silent and thought that Long Chen was hesitating. She couldn't help being moved. She took Long Chen's hand and said in a trembling voice. She also wants Long Chen to stay here, but she can't be so selfish. According to the rules, the strong outside will get a better chance to enter the virtual spirit world. Long Chen looked at Feng Yu and smiled. Instead of answering her, he patted the bloody long knife behind him. The long knife roared, as if he smelled the bloody gas, and the violent breath rose. Dragon Dust shouted, "Warriors of the melting beast family, the gate of the magic spirit world is right in front of us. If we pass through that gate, we will have the opportunity to change our lives against the sky. The road of cultivation is endless, with hundreds of boats competing for the stream. No one can always be the first. Do princes and generals have seed? Life is given by your parents, and luck is your own struggle. Now the opportunity to change your destiny is right in front of you. I ask you, do you have the courage to fight with my Dragon Dust?" The sound of Dragon Dust was full of arrogance and hegemony, which was introduced into the ears of the strong people of the melting beast family, and their just calmed blood was ignited in an instant, just like a volcanic eruption. Dragon Dust. Feng Yu looks at Long Chen, and the jade hand covers the cherry lips. Tears in her beautiful eyes can't help but rinse down. The strong people of the melting beast family roared, and they didn't answer, but the roar from the heart and soul was the best answer. Well, since you are willing to gamble with me, I will take you crazy. Although I dare not say that you must win, I will never let you lose. Let's go. The sword points to the magic spirit world. God blocks the killing of God, and the devil blocks the killing of demons. No one in the world can stop our footsteps. Dragon Dust broke his drink and strode forward. God blocks killing God, and devil blocks killing devil. God blocks killing God, and devil blocks killing devil. God blocks killing God, and devil blocks killing devil. The strong men of the melting beast family were completely infected by the domineering spirit of Dragon Dust, and their fighting spirit rose one by one. Following the footsteps of Dragon Dust, the whole team was like a sharp knife, stabbing forward, and Dragon Dust was the tip of this knife. Feng Yu closely followed Long Chen's back and looked at Long Chen's back. Her tears kept pouring out. She had never been so moved in her life. That back seemed to give her an endless sense of security. Even if she was in the sea of knife and fire, she would not feel afraid and hesitant. Before, The dragon dust has been keeping its strength. At this time, it is not necessary to keep it when the heaven and earth tripod says that it can enter from here. Although it has not been shot, the invincible breath has begun to release. The dragon dust at this time is the real dragon dust. Puff puff. Long Chen didn't do it. Feng Yu waved a long gun. All the creatures in front of her, regardless of race, were killed. With Long Chen she could be unscrupulous and unreserved. As the melting beast family rushed forward, they soon kept pace with the Yu family. Although the melting beast family started a little late, with the full fire of Feng Yu, the impact speed was no slower than the Yu family. In addition, because of the impact of the Yu family, countless formations in front were disrupted. In this way, the melting beast family took a big advantage. When the strong people of the Yu family saw that the strong people of the melting beast family caught up with them, they even took advantage of their impact aftershocks, which immediately made them very unhappy. Buzz, suddenly, a strong man of Yu clan disappeared in situ. That man was one of Wu Hun's powerful men. He could be said to be Wu Hun's right arm. His strength was very terrible. "Come back." When the man disappeared, Wu Hun was surprised and shouted. However, the strong man of Yu family has appeared in front of Feng Yu. A dark bone spur in his hand stabbed at Feng Yu's face. The bone spike is 3 feet long, the small arm is thick and thin, and there is a sharp tooth-like barb on it. It is a very strange weapon. Countless runes flow on the weapon. The fierce air is frightening. It is an extremely terrible magic weapon. Die. Seeing that the man dared to stand up and attack blatantly, without any exploratory action, he directly stabbed her at the key. It seemed that he didn't pay attention to her at all. Feng Yu was very angry, and the gold shield in his left hand blocked forward. At the same time, the gold spear in his right hand swept across. But to Fenjia's horror, her shield block and long gun sweep all fell empty, and the man mysteriously disappeared. "Dragon dust, be careful." Feng Yu screamed because she sent a letter in horror. The man unexpectedly appeared in the right rear of Long Chen. The bone spur was like a devil's tooth, only 3 inches away from Long Chen's temple. www.milovenival.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4560. The strong person of the Yu family is powerful. When attacking Feng Yu, he suddenly displayed the unique magic power of the Yu family and shifted his position. Even the strong person of Feng Yu level was cheated. The movement and transposition of the strong man of Yu family is very strange. His position has changed, but his attack has not slowed down at all. It is equal to a blow that originally stabbed the center of Feng Yu's eyebrows and stabbed the temple of Long Chen. Everything happened so fast that Lien Feng Yu, a strong man who has experienced many battles, couldn't react. At this time, the dragon dust was still rushing forward. It seemed that she had no premonition of danger. At that moment, Fenjia's heart suddenly mentioned her voice. She wanted to rescue, but it was too late. At this time, there was a contemptuous smile on the corners of the mouth of the strong man of the Yozu. He seemed to have seen the scene of bone spurs piercing the dragon dust head. At the moment when the bone spur of the strong man of the Yozu was about to pierce into the head of Longchen, a big hand full of stars firmly grasped the tip of the bone spur. At the moment when Longchen grabbed the tip of the bone spur, the strong body of the Yozu suddenly trembled, and thunder arcs appeared on him. At that moment, his body was paralyzed. Click! As soon as Xingchen's big hand made an effort, the bone spur was broken, and half of the bone spur in Longchen's hand was suddenly thrown. Poof! The bone spurs pierced into the eyebrows and the back of the brain of the strong person of the Yu family. The bone spurs penetrated the whole head. The fire of the soul of the strong person of the Yu family was extinguished in an instant, and was killed together with the Yuan god. The more strange the weapon, the faster it will die. Don't you understand? Long Chen Lung hum, but from beginning to end, he didn't even look at the man, or even blink. In Long Chen's opinion, this guy is looking for death. He even wants to kill Long Chen in an opportunistic way. Want to play a diversion? This move is too childish in front of Long Chen. This move, let alone compare with Ying Tian, is far worse than even the second-rate killers of the life-hunting family. At the moment of the man's death, a destiny fruit with 6 star marks appeared in the chaotic space of dragon dust, which shows that this man is a powerful 6-star destiny. However, because he was smart, he was killed by Long Chen without any effort. If he chose to fight head-on, even if Long Chen wanted to kill him, it would take some effort. Playing like this is no different from giving away his head for free. To put it bluntly, the goods killed themselves. This move may be effective for others, but it seems too childish for Long Chen. Buzz at the moment when Long Chen killed the man, Wu Hun appeared in front of Long Chen, and a dark spear appeared in his hand. Originally, the moment his men shot, he felt bad. Although he had not fought with Long Chen, he knew that Long Chen was a bad guy with the intuition of an expert. At least his men were definitely not opponents. He didn't have time to stop him and immediately tried to save his life. Unfortunately, Long Chen's speed was too fast. Before he could make a move, his men were already dead, which made him tremble with surprise and anger. "Get out!" In the face of Wu Hun, Long Chen simply and violently spit out a word. "Well, see." Wu Hun was so angry that he turned blue. One of his capable men was killed, which was tantamount to slapping him in the face. But the door of the magic world is about to open. At this time, the 2 most important things are to get close to the door and retain strength. If you start with Long Chen, time will be delayed and valuable physical strength will be consumed, which is unacceptable to him. So despite the anger, I had to bear it, because now is really not a good time to avenge my men. The strong people of the Melting Beast family were stunned. They saw clearly what they had just done. It took no effort for Long Chen to kill the super strong people of the Yu family. Only then did they know what a terrible existence Long Chen is. This time, it was the first time that they really saw Long Chen's hand. When they thought of a peerless expert like Long Chen, they were willing to call them brothers. For a time, everyone's blood surged up, and their worship and gratitude to Long Chen rose to an unprecedented height. Although Feng Yu guessed that Long Chen was pretending before, she knew that Long Chen was powerful, but she didn't expect that Long Chen could be so powerful. The Melting Beast family is here. If you don't want to die, let's go out. Otherwise, don't blame my girl for having no eyes for her long gun. With the support of dragon dust, Feng Yu began to become more and more confident. She stopped drinking loudly and rushed all the way. Your soaring power should also be able to adapt. From now on, you can't make so much effort. Long Chen said to Feng Yu. What? Feng Yu was stunned. Who? Long Chen reaches out his hand to take the long gun in Feng Yu's hand and stabs it. A giant beast should fall to the ground. Feng Yu was surprised. She didn't expect that Long Chen could control her flaming golden gun. This is a magic weapon with fire attribute. Only the fire of the Wind family can control it? What she doesn't know is that the fire spirit is the spirit of fire. It devours an unknown number of flames and drives this weapon. It's just a piece of cake. What's more surprising to Feng Yu is that if you kill the monster yourself, the monster's head will explode. However, Long Chen drove the long gun and just clicked on the head of the giant beast. The head of the giant beast was pierced. The heavy lifting made Feng Yu's eyes wide open. I can't believe it. Long Chen's attack was too easy. Power is limited. You need to learn to use limited power to cause greater lethality, so as to obtain more lasting combat power. Don't let the power be released indiscriminately. Try to condense the power of fire on the tip of the gun. Long Chen said and handed the flame spear to Feng Yu. Boom! Feng Yu tried to use the method of dragon dust to stab a strong man who blocked the way. As a result, the strong man burst into pieces. Don't worry, take your time. Concentrate on the tip of the gun before you get out of the gun. Dragon Dust Road. Fenjia's talent is extremely high. She soon mastered the method of dragon dust. The consumption becomes smaller and the lethality is even more amazing, which makes Feng Yu ecstatic. Fenjia's talent is very good, but the Melting Beast family has no real teachers. Many things need to be understood by themselves. The Melting Beast family is not a real race, but an alliance. They learn different things from each other. What Long Chen taught Feng Yu is just the simplest way to control power, But Feng Yu has been very surprised. She is as surprised as heaven and man to Longchen. As we continue to move forward, the battlefield ahead is becoming more and more chaotic. Corpses are everywhere on the earth. Longchen doesn't forget to clean up the battlefield all the way. At the same time, the more forward, the more powerful. The era when you want to scare others by momentum alone is over. If you want others to make way, you must show real skills. The gate is getting closer and closer, and the battle is becoming more and more fierce. However, there is Feng Yu, and Longchen basically doesn't need to fight. Feng Yu is fighting and accepting the guidance of Longchen. She is smart and knows everything. She is more brave and stronger in the Vietnam War. Hiss! Suddenly, the airflow was different. Longchen grabbed it with his big hand in the air, and there was a cold iron arrow in his hand. Longchen looked forward, and a dangerous arc appeared at the corner of his mouth. It's time to keep your promise. www.milovenival.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4561. It was a tributary arrow shot by mistake. The sharp arrow was silent, but it had great power. Anyone who was shot by this arrow, except Longchen and Feng Yu, would be seriously injured if he didn't die. When Longchen caught the tributary arrow, a group of people appeared in his mind. Looking along the direction of the arrow, he just saw a group of creatures with wings on their backs and long bows rushing forward madly. When Longchen saw the first person holding a white bone-long bow, his eyes suddenly became sharp. Feng, take the people forward first, and I'll fulfill my promise. After Longchen finished his words, Kunpeng's wings floated behind him. People rushed forward like lightning. Because the door of the magic spirit world is opening, the whole battlefield has become impetuous. The strong people who hide their strength begin to break out with all their strength, hoping to rush in at the moment when the door opens. The strong people who were originally close to the gate were already ready to take advantage of the terrain and take defensive measures to block others' attacks. The people behind rush forward madly, and the people in front block madly and refuse to give up an inch of land. In front of the gate, countless strong men rush into the void. From the ground to the sky, there are battlefields everywhere, which is extremely chaotic. Large pieces of corpses and blood rain fell from the void. The whole sky was stained red with blood. Life was like grass mustard. The whole world became crazy. Under the cover of chaos, Longchen quietly approached the strong people of the Yu-nationality who were killing madly. These strong people of the Yu-nationality were much more than when Longchen first saw them. I don't know if they joined other branches halfway. They bent their bows and arrows one by one, and endless arrows formed a torrent. No matter how powerful creatures passed, they were shot into a sieve. At the beginning, Longchen had experienced the terrible power of 10,000 arrows at once. He didn't want to be regarded as a target. With his rapid approach, suddenly the strong man holding a white bone-long bow of the Yu-nationality turned his head and looked at Longchen. A strong sense of danger. Unfortunately, what's the use? There was a mocking smile on the corner of Longchen's mouth. Since he was found, he swaggered over. Is that you? The strong man of the feather nationality holding the white bone-long bow shrunk his pupils and changed his face when he saw the dragon dust. He is not afraid of dragon dust, but it is too late for dragon dust. They are fighting a powerful race. They have just gained the upper hand, and soon the enemy will be defeated and scattered by them. But at this time, the killing of dragon dust immediately put the Yu-nationality in a dilemma. When they are attacked back and forth, the Yu-nationality will suffer a great loss. Leave it to me. You try your best to kill that guy. Remember to make a quick decision. The strong man of the feather nationality holding the white bone-long bow shouted. Yes, with his order, the 8 strong men of the feather nationality around him immediately withdrew from the battle and turned around to gallop away behind him. At the same time, the feather army was divided into 2, and some turned around to kill Longchen. The number of the Yu-nationality army is nearly 1 million, and half of them are allocated to deal with the dragon dust. This is a huge scale. The strong Yu-nationality who holds a white bone-long bow does not despise the dragon dust. You know, Those 8 people are his capable men, and their strength is only slightly inferior to him. In his opinion, only 4 people work together to defeat Long Chen. The reason why 8 people are adjusted is to make a quick decision and not disturb the rhythm of the charge. Buzz, hundreds of thousands of strong people of the nationality suddenly turned around and killed Long Chen. This move shocked countless strong people around, especially the strong people who are fighting madly with the nationality. They don't know what happened. However, seeing that the strong people of the nationality were divided into 2 and their forces were scattered, they immediately seized the opportunity and began a crazy counterattack. The strong people of the nationality holding the white bone long bow also broke out with all their strength. The white bone long bow shook continuously and burst out with divine light. Even without the 8 men, he still suppressed his feet. Boom! At this time, a loud noise came. The strong man of the feather nationality holding the white bone long bow turned back in horror and found that a sky-covering lotus flower was blooming rapidly behind him. Countless strong men of the feather nationality were swallowed by the flame lotus. The flame lotus is colorful, complex, and violent. It is Dragon Dust who used the world-killing fire lotus, but this time the world-killing fire lotus is different from before. At the initial stage, the annihilating fire lotus was only the size of a palm and flew into the Yu camp like a meteor. At that time, the Dragon Dust had not entered the effective range of the Yu clan. Before the strong of the Yu clan launched an attack, the flame lotus exploded among them. This flame lotus bloomed rapidly after it exploded. It contains countless kinds of flame power. After losing the control of Huoling, these flames began to attack each other and repel each other. The flame lotus rose to tens of thousands of miles in an instant. Those strong people of the feather nationality who had no time to avoid hit the flame lotus and were swallowed up into nothingness in an instant. Run away! The strong man of the feather nationality holding the white bone long bow saw the huge lotus, his face changed and roared loudly. At the same time, the wings behind him glowed and magnified rapidly to cover the sky. The wings spread the world and covered him and all the strong people of the feather nationality around him. He was unable to protect the other half of the strong people of the feather nationality who rushed to the dragon dust. Boom! At this time, the flame lotus that expanded to tens of thousands of miles suddenly stopped expanding and then exploded. There was a loud noise, the colorful flame was like huge fireworks, and the flame of hundreds of millions of meteors was shot out in all directions. Boom! The strong people of the nationality were hit by the fire. Without a hum, they were blown into fly ash. Even the 8 strong people opened the protection for the first time, but their wings were shattered and their blood gushed wildly. Huge flame meteors, passing through the camp of the nationality, shot in all directions, and those strong people around were also plagued. Countless creatures were wrapped in flames, screamed bitterly and rushed out. The attack range of this move is too large for even Long Chen to imagine, but Long Chen soon understood and a smile appeared at the corners of his mouth. He knew that Lei Linger's recent publicity made her a little unhappy. She also wanted to burst out her own strength so that she wouldn't despise her. Therefore, she manipulated the fire lotus of Long Chen's blow to destroy the world. After the fire lotus killed the world, the scorched earth was endless. I don't know how many creatures were killed by this attack. Even countless strong fighters in the distance slowed down their moves because of this attack, and the sharp attack became conservative. On the scorched earth, a pair of huge wings slowly separated, revealing a large area of pure land. On the pure land, hundreds of thousands of strong people of the feather nationality looked out in horror. Hi, hello! At the moment when the strong people of the feather nationality with the white bone long bow spread their wings, Long Chen stood on their heads, with a blessing-like smile on his face, waving to them cordially. When they saw the face of Long Chen, the strong of the Yu nationality, their pupils suddenly shrunk to the tip of a needle, because Long Chen held a fist-sized flame lotus in his waving hands. Bad, the strong man of the Yu nationality holding the white bone long bow changed his face, and his pair of wings closed rapidly, but at the moment he closed, the flame lotus had fallen in front of him. Boom! The flame lotus didn't give them any reaction time at all and exploded. www.milovenovel.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4562, Asshole. The strong man of the feather nationality holding the white bone long bow roared, but he could do nothing but anger. He could only watch the flame lotus explode in front of him. Boom! The terrible flame swallowed up the heaven and earth. Except for the strong people of the nationality holding the white bone long bow, all the other strong people of the nationality turned into nothingness, and there was endless burning gas between the heaven and earth. The strong man of the feather nationality holding the white bone long bow was really strong. With a hard blow from the dragon dust, there was no injury to other parts except that the wings were slightly blackened. Puff, puff. Just then, a girl in a long-colored dress in the distance, holding a blood-red sword and an arrow, slaughtered all the strong men of the 8 feather families. Those 8 men are the capable men of the strong people of the feather nationality with white bone long bow. Although they survived the first attack on the World Fire Lotus, they have been seriously injured. In front of Huelinger, they were shocked to find that they could not move under the divine power of Huelinger. They could only watch the flame sword cut their bodies. Damn bastard, do you know what you're doing? The strong man of the nationality holding the white bone long bow roared. He pointed to the dragon dust with the white bone long bow in his hand. His whole face has been deformed. It's not a gentleman to take revenge. Did you ever ask yourself what you were doing when you attacked me? Dragon dust light tunnel. Dead, the strong man of the nationality holding the white bone long bow roared fiercely. Under the vibration of the white bone long bow in his hand, a white bone arrow appeared on the bowstring. Buzz, the white bone arrow was pulled by the bowstring. At that moment, the whole world suddenly collapsed, as if the power of the whole world had been absorbed by it. The strong man of the feather nationality holding the white bone long bow burst into a fog of bleeding. In his rage, he sacrificed his blood to the white bone long bow to give full play to its strongest power. When the white bone long bow was pulled, the strong people who were fighting in a scuffle around changed their faces and fled to the distance. Even the strong people who had fought with the nationality were scared to run away. They knew that this guy was going to work hard. In the face of the strong people of the nationality holding the white bone long bow, Long Chen's long hair was windless and automatic, the stars on his arms circulated, and his big hand slowly grasped the handle of the bloody long knife behind him. Boom! Suddenly there was an explosion, and Long Chen and the strong man of the feather nationality holding the white bone long bow moved at the same time. Their actions were as fast as lightning, and the bloody long knife cut on the white bone arrow accurately. With a bang, a death ripple spread, the heaven and earth were bright and dark, the endless law of the road was distorted, and the dragon dust and the strong man of the feather nationality holding the white bone long bow retreated at the same time. Boom! At this time, the terrible ripples swept the sky and set off boundless waves. In the dust, a figure slowly emerged, and the bloody long knife was lazily carried on the shoulder by Longchen. Dragon dust stands on the void with long hair floating and black robes flying. He looks like an invincible god of war and looks down at all directions. After receiving the bone arrow, Longchen seemed to be okay. He looked down at the strong man of the feather nationality holding the white bone long bow coldly. I don't have any strength. I rely on the strength of my ancestors. I really don't know where you have the courage to make trouble everywhere. Isn't it good to live well? You have to die? Dragon dust light tunnel. Die, stupid Terran. The strong man of the feather nationality holding the white bone long bow roared. Suddenly, there was a roar behind him, and a pile of covered wings emerged. As soon as the wings appeared, the ancient and desolate atmosphere radiated in an instant. Poof! However, when people were shocked by his breath, a bloody lightning flashed, and the crazy promotion of the strong man of the feather nationality holding the white bone long bow suddenly stopped. He suddenly stopped moving. He looked at the dragon dust in front of him with a frightened face. Then, blood appeared on his forehead, tip of nose, chin, throat, chest and lower abdomen. Who? At this time, Long Chen slowly put the bloody long knife on the buckle behind him. Buzz! Suddenly, The long bow in the man's hand glowed and disappeared into a meteor. The magic soldier escaped. You! The strong man of the U nationality looked at the dragon dust, and his eyes were full of unwilling color. But you blame me for not giving you a chance to show your strength? When you attacked me, why didn't you do that? Go with peace of mind. In the next life, remember, if you don't have strength, don't mess around. Dragon Dust Light Tunnel. Poof, Long Chen just finished. The body of the strong man of the U nationality suddenly divided into two pieces and fell down. There were millions of strong people of the U nationality who were killed by Long Chen alone. At that moment, the strong people who fought with the U nationality were scared to flee one after another, and they didn't dare to block the way of Long Chen. At this time, Feng Yu led the strong people of the Melting Beast family to come over. When he saw that the whole Yu family was killed by Long Chen, both Feng Yu and the strong people of the Melting Beast family were surprised to open their mouths. Go! With a wave of Dragon Dust's big hand, the stars around him flowed and rushed to the gate with the strong men of the Melting Beast family. The strong man of the Feather nationality holding the white bone long bow died unjustly. His own strength is extremely strong, but he has a fatal disadvantage, that is, his strength comes from the blood of his ancestors. He needs to summon the power of his ancestors, and who is Dragon Dust? How could he not catch such an obvious flaw? The reason why the Dragon Blood Warriors are strong is that they have an almost abnormal reaction speed. In this state, let alone Dragon Dust, even any Dragon Blood Warrior can seize the opportunity to kill it. Many times, two people have equal strength, so combat experience and reaction speed have become the key to victory or defeat. Boom! At this time, the power of the stars around the Dragon Dust flows, and the power of the vast stars pulls the power of heaven and earth, just like a giant ship riding the wind and waves, opening up the heaven and earth and bringing large ripples. The melting beasts follow behind the Dragon Dust and hardly need to resist the surrounding pressure. Such a charge can give them a chance to breathe and adjust their state while charging. Dragon Dust rushed forward like an angry arrow, and the blockers were swept. Soon, it was less than 1,000,000 miles away from the door of space. The lines on the huge door could be seen clearly. The more forward, the stronger the breath here is, the more amazing it is. According to the estimation of Long Chen, the worst fatalists here are all 4-star fatalists. When the Dragon Dust rushed here with the strong man of the Melting Beast family, they didn't expect that the door of the world was right in front of them. Behind them was chaos, but here was calm. When Feng Yu came here, she immediately felt her hair stand upright, because at this time, all the strong men in this area looked at them. In front of them, a huge white bone warhorse was looking at them coldly with its withered eyes. www.milovenovel.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4563, Kaka, Kaka. Not waiting for the Dragon Dust to respond, suddenly the door of space in the distance broke, and a black lotus poked out of the door of space. It was a huge black lotus. The core of the lotus was a vortex. As soon as the vortex appeared, all the strong people in the presence immediately moved. Boom! The white bone war horse hissed and its bones glowed. Pulling the bronze chariot, it galloped away like a meteor towards the black lotus. At the same time, the strong men of other ethnic groups also roared and rushed forward. At that moment, everyone seemed crazy, opened the strongest defense and pushed forward madly. Go! Long Chen holds a bloody long knife and the stars flow around him. Facing the chaotic battlefield ahead, the bloody long knife stabs into the sky and fiercely cuts at the front. The fourth opening ceremony, other strong people pushed forward fiercely, and Long Chen was more violent. Anyone who blocked Lao Zi's way had to die. Boom! The sword Qi soared into the sky and tore the heaven and earth. The huge shadow of the knife went straight to the black lotus in the distance and cut off. All the strong people on a line were covered by the power of the knife. Countless strong people in front are rushing in desperately. The strong people who can come here are the top strong people in the 9-day world. They are afraid of each other. They don't want to work hard unless they have to. Therefore, they all open the shield, and everyone depends on their real strength to see who can squeeze who. However, Long Chen's knife broke the unspoken rule that everyone abides by. It is sharp and unparalleled. Countless strong people were cut off by this knife, and their blood gushed one by one. A blood path was immediately killed in front of them. At that moment, Feng Yu and others were stunned. She didn't expect that Long Chen was so fierce and wanted to compete with them. Originally, they had planned to come here with Feng Yu. They had set a precedent in history. They planned to wait for the strongest of this wave to go in and wait for the second wave to go in. You know, according to historical records, the melting beast family is the last wave to enter. They have created unprecedented brilliance, and they have been satisfied. But they were satisfied. Long Chen was not satisfied. He opened the way directly with violence, killed a blood path with a knife, and then rushed straight forward. Seeing Long Chen rush past, Feng Yu and others bite their teeth and rush past. Now they have no choice. Damn Terrans, humble melting beasts, you wait. A strong man in front suffered a great loss and roared loudly. Now the door has been opened. They don't have time to settle accounts with Long Chen. Although they suffered heavy losses, they still rush forward madly. Buzzing, buzzing. At this time, the bloody long knife in Long Chen's hand cut continuously. With each knife cut, the power coagulated but did not send out until the fifth knife was cut. The 5 styles were one, and the power of the 5 knives superimposed on each other and cut fiercely in front of him again. The 5th opening ceremony, boom, with this knife, heaven and earth changed color, and the opening will that made Jiutian change color made countless strong souls tremble. There are strong people roaring ahead, but they don't want to waste their energy to stop the terrible knife of dragon dust. Because they have to pay a painful price for blocking this knife, which will seriously affect their impact speed. Although countless strong people gnash their teeth, they dare not resist and avoid one after another. Puff, puff. Some strong people can't give in. They are cut by a knife and turn into blood fog one after another. The strike of the 5-in-1 has the power to destroy the sky and the earth. Even those with 5-star destiny can only drink hate. With the power of this knife, Long Chen cut a channel in the crowd, and soon led the strong men of the melting beast family to the forefront. Dragon dust, be careful, it's evil flying. Long Chen and others galloped all the way. When they rushed to the first line, Feng Yu saw a figure with a huge sickle on his back in front. That person was Xie Fei, the young leader of Tianxia sect. The most frightening thing for Feng Yu is that the evil flying at this time is as vast as the sea. The momentum of the whole person has completely changed, just like being possessed by a god. When you see him, it makes your soul tremble. Dragon Dust not only saw evil flying, but also saw Black Hun, and several monkeys with golden hair. One of these golden monkeys also had a hand with dragon dust. What makes Long Chen awe-inspiring is that among those golden monkeys, there is a stronger one who is more terrible than his breath. The golden monkey wears a golden crown on his head and his pupils show strange purple. Even if it is far away, it still brings a great sense of oppression to Long Chen. In addition, Long Chen also saw the strong of the Black Rock 9U python family. As Feng Yu said, there are many branches of the Black Rock 9U python, and Yen Baichen is only one of the branches of the Black Rock 9U python. The real strong people of the Black Rock 9U python family are all here, not only the Black Rock 9U python, but also countless strong people such as Demon Family, Blood Family, Demon Family, Beast Family, and so on. Even Long Chen saw the strong of the Spirit Family, but in this case, Long Chen couldn't say hello to them. Although the mother tree of the Earth Spirit Family once told Long Chen that he can seek shelter when he meets the strong of the Spirit Family, how arrogant is Long Chen? How can you ask others for help? There are too many strong people here. There are too many mysterious strong people just like Xie Fei, Wu Hun, and the Bronze Chariot. Long Chen has no time to take into account so many. He doesn't turn back. At this time, he has to rush forward desperately. Long Chen rushed very fast. He didn't move again. He was carrying a bloody big knife. His spirit was condensed on the long knife. As long as someone dared to stop, it was a thunderbolt. Boom! Soon, Long Chen has led the melting beast family to the forefront, keeping pace with the strongest forces in the 9 days world. At that moment, the strong people of the beast-melting family were hot-blooded, and even Feng Yu couldn't help but be hot-blooded, because all those strong people came from the top forces in the world. At ordinary times, the melting beast family can only look up to them, but now, under the leadership of Long Chen, they fly with them. The glory and pride can't be described in words. Hundreds of forces rush forward at the same time, but everyone's speed is surprisingly consistent. Long Chen has tried many times. No matter how fast he accelerates, he can't get rid of others. Similarly, others are the same. Long Chen realized at the moment that this is the law of the gate of the world. He couldn't force it. However, the major forces kept a certain distance very tacitly, and the well water didn't invade the river. However, as the vortex in the core area of the Black Lotus gets closer and closer, the strong forces of the major forces begin to approach slowly. It's like 1,000 boats crossing the river. The river narrows and the spacious space suddenly becomes congested. At this time, several forces squeeze towards the melting beast family at the same time. At that moment, Feng Yu and others were nervous for a moment, while a touch of ruthlessness appeared on Long Chen's face, and the bloody long knife in his hand began to roar and explode. Buzz! Suddenly the void trembled, and a sickle came across the space. It was Xie Fei who started. The sickle crossed the void, and the whole world began to dislocation, as if it had been cut in two by his knife. Die, humble Terran, and accept the judgment of the evil god. Heaven and earth tremble, divine power is surging, and evil Fei's shot is the strongest kill. 7-star battle, open. The dragon dust broke his drink in his heart, and the violent breath rushed straight into the sky, just like the volcanic eruption that has been silent for hundreds of millions of years. www.mylovenival.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4564. It seems that Xie Fei has been ready for it. Once he makes a move, his whole body is full of divine brilliance. A statue behind him opens up the world. The power of the evil god radiates for 9 days. When the sickle passes by, thousands of sorrows. Xie Fei once had a hand with Long Chen. The last time he suffered a big loss, he always had a grudge and wanted to break Long Chen into pieces. However, dragon dust can deceive the melting beast family, but it can't deceive him. Only he knows the real strength of dragon dust. Therefore, if he doesn't do it, it will be the most fierce outbreak. In the face of evil Fei's all-out attack, Long Chen dared not neglect it. He directly summoned the 7-star battle body. The divine ring behind him flowed. On the bloody long knife in his hand, the stars chopped forward fiercely. The sharp edges of the 2 magic soldiers crossed the world, and the whole world would be cut. In the eyes of countless people, the 2 magic soldiers crashed into each other. Boom! The gorgeous brilliance was like the sun breaking. At that moment, everyone lost their vision, not only their eyes, but also their soul perception. Boom! The void is like a pot, and the endless avenue runes are flying in all directions like a raging wave. Hide behind me! Feng Yu drank. At the same time, Feng Yu quickly magnified the golden spear in her hand and stabbed the earth. The earth was pierced in an instant, and the huge spear firmly stabbed into the earth. Boom! Feng Yu just made this move. The terrible strong wind hit her. Her wings trembled violently, and the golden divine light danced. The terrible power almost broke her wings. The vigorous wind cut her cheek like a sharp blade, which made her cheek ache. The strong people of the melting beast family behind her tightly hugged each other and supported her under the cover of Feng Yu. And those forces who reacted slowly were blown back rapidly by the terrible vigorous wind, and they couldn't stabilize their body at all. The vigorous wind was terrible. Boom! There was another explosion, and the dragon dust fought hard with evil Fei. The power of this blow was better than the previous attack. Boom! Then there was another explosion. This time, the whole world lost its color. On the gray void, dragon dust and evil fly flew out at the same time. Feng Yu looked at the figure of Long Chen and her eyes were full of surprises. Now she knew how terrible the real strength of Long Chen was. Damn Terran, you really have two skills. However, I have been baptized by the power of evil gods, and the power of destiny has been fully awakened. In front of me, you are just a slightly stronger ant. Buzz, at this time, the divine light behind Xie Fei's head flowed, and the 7-star patterns were like 7 meteors, dragging a long tail in rotation. With the circulation of the 7-star patterns, the power of heaven and earth is blending, and the laws of the 10,000 Tao are converging. With the blessing of the 7-star patterns, evil flying seems to be the master of this piece of heaven and earth, thinking about the birth of all things and the extinction of heaven and earth. How is this possible? When she saw the star trace map behind Xie Fei's head, Feng Yu's eyes were full of horror. Dragon dust, be careful. He has awakened the destiny stars in advance, which is equivalent to that he has awakened part of the power of God in advance. Feng Yu shouted loudly. The stupid and dirty beast melting clan knows a lot, but so what? Anyway, there is still a little time for the door to open. It should be enough to kill you. Evil Flying Face showed a ferocious color. Buzz, the huge sickle in his hand, crossed the void and pointed at the dragon dust. The violent killing intention locked the dragon dust for a moment. Long Chen was locked without any panic. Instead, he carried the bloody long knife on his shoulder and looked at Xie Fei coldly. 7-star destiny? Early awakening star trace map? It is equivalent to opening part of the power of heaven in advance? It seems that I have to be more serious. Stupid guy, dare to talk big now. Buzz, the 7-star diagram behind Xie Fei's head flickered, and the whole person disappeared in a moment. However, it was shocking that his people disappeared, but the evil god vision behind him was still in place. Pa! At this time, Long Chen's big hand jerked out in the void. With a loud bang, there were large ripples in the void, and then a figure flew out upside down. People exclaimed that the figure was evil flying. Stupid idiot, without the blessing of the evil god statue, you can't lock me at all. I can see that you wake up to the star trace map in advance and get a powerful blessing of destiny, but the blessing of evil gods will be affected by the power of destiny. You can't have both fish and bear's paw. If you gain some strength, you have to give up another part. Long Chen waved his hand, which was numb with shock, and said faintly. Although Long Chen spoke calmly, his heart was full of shock. According to the power of Long Chen's slap, he could definitely blow half of his face open. But the power of this slap was blocked by a strange force, which was equal to the power of the whole heaven and earth, and took the blow for Evil Fei. Therefore, although Xie Fei was slapped, he was not hurt, which made Long Chen awe-inspiring. Xie Fei, who condensed the star trace map, was obviously very different from before. Although Xie Fei was not hurt, the power of stars contained in the slap of Long Chen shocked his head, as if there were stars spinning around his head, and the whole person was stunned. When he recovered, when he saw countless strong people around him looking at him with strange eyes, his eyes became blood red for a moment. I will tear you to pieces. Long Chen slapped him last time. That time he almost died of shame and anger. Now this slap is even louder. Although he was not injured, the mental humiliation was more unacceptable than the physical injury, especially in the face of countless strong people in the 9 days world. He would rather be killed than be humiliated. At that moment he was completely furious. Boom! The evil spirit behind him reappeared, the star trace map behind his head circulated, and people killed Long Chen again. This time, Long Chen was locked again. Long Chen knew that it was not evil flying that locked him, but the will of the evil god. Facing the lock of evil flying, a little star appeared again on the bloody sword in Long Chen's hand. Let me weigh your weight. Dead Long Chen and Xie Fei rushed to each other at the same time. They raised their swords at the same time and cut fiercely at the enemy. It seemed that they were going to die together with the enemy. Boom boom. The two magic soldiers turned into empty shadows all over the sky and frantically cut and hit. At that moment, their figures disappeared. Between heaven and earth, only two magic soldiers were cutting each other. Their violent killing intention and roaring sound captured people's soul. Buzz, just as they were fighting frantically, suddenly a golden figure rushed over like a meteor. It was the golden monkey with purple pupils. Damn Terrans, I don't have so much time for you to decide the outcome. If you dare to offend the golden-haired monkey family, go to hell. To the horror of Feng Yu and others, this purple pupil golden-haired monkey can spit people out. www.milovenival.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4565. The golden monkey rushed to the dragon dust and was full of evil spirit. The rune circulated on a long stick in his hand, rushed into the battle circle between the dragon dust and the evil flying, and a stick smashed at the dragon dust. At the moment when he came out of the stick, his hair glowed like a golden sun, and the whole person was wrapped in golden light. Boom! Long Chin just fought with CFA and cut the golden monkey with a knife. There was a loud bang and the golden light was bright. To the horror of Long Chin, the power of the golden monkey was several times greater than that of CFA. Dragon Dust never thought that a thin monkey less than 5 feet tall should have such terrible power. Long Chin snorted stiffly and was shocked to fly out. His arms were numb and he could hardly hold the long knife in his hand. The golden monkey is an extremely ancient race. If you underestimate it, you will suffer a great loss. Then the voice of the heaven and earth tripod came. At the same time, the golden monkey with the golden crown bloomed all over the body, obscured the sky, turned the whole world into a golden ocean, filled with blood, and killed the dragon dust again. Roar! At this time, the muscles and bones inside the dragon dust roared, the golden dragon scale automatically covered the whole body of the dragon dust, and the holy dragon power erupted. The dragon blood in Long Chen's body was stimulated by the blood gas of the golden monkey and burst out automatically, just as the sacred dragon was provoked and erupted into towering anger. So you are the descendant of the evil dragon family. No wonder you don't like it. Go to hell. The golden monkey with the golden crown saw the dragon scales on the dragon dust, and his voice became bloody for a moment, as if he had endless deep hatred. Dead, the golden-haired monkey with a golden crown roared, and his face was ferocious. He exposed his tusks, as if he saw the enemy who killed his father. His blood essence was burning, and the whole person rushed towards the dragon dust like the sun. Dragon dust roared up to the sky. The roar was mixed with the sound of dragon singing. The violent will oppressed the way of heaven and changed the color forever. At that moment, the giant dragon appeared in the divine ring behind. The divine ring connected the sky, but only a few dragon scales of the giant dragon could be seen. The giant dragon was too big for heaven and earth. At that moment, a little golden magic light appeared in the eyes of dragon dust. The anger of dragon dust was rising. At this time, he was possessed by the will of the dragon. Now he is not a person, but a giant dragon. The real dragon family is 100 scales long and the emperor of all spirits. As long as it is an animal family, it is necessary to kneel down to show obedience to the real dragon family and the emperor. Facing the provocation of the golden-crowned golden monkey, Long Chen's dragon blood awakened, Long Wei broke out, and the real dragon will filled his soul. A little monkey, pinch it. Pinch it. It's not enough for a plate. Grab it. It's not enough for a bowl. You dare to challenge the power of the dragon? Dragon dust roared. At that moment, his voice changed and became low and powerful. The dragon god was angry and wanted to destroy the common people. The declining dragon clan, are you still immersed in the glory of the past? Your chaotic dragon emperor has been dead for countless years and still wants to rule the animal world? Your dream should wake up. The golden monkey with the golden crown sneered. The man was like a meteor, wrapped in the supreme god's light, and smashed at the dragon dust with a long stick. Buzz, facing the attack of the golden monkey, Long Chen's left hand coagulated his claw and grabbed it out. At the same time, in the divine ring behind him, a golden-covered dragon claw crashed down. Boom! The dragon's claws were huge. They didn't give the golden monkey a chance to escape. They grabbed it heavily. A startling explosion broke the dragon's claws and covered the sky. They were even inferior to the golden monkey wearing the golden crown. It said that your real dragon family has declined, and the glory of the past is no longer there. The former king of beasts, now the blood has declined to this extent. If you don't burst the power of blood, I can't feel the dragon blood on you. It can be seen that it's time for the dragon family to hand over the throne. The golden monkey's eyes flashed with the magic purple light, and its voice was full of arrogance and overbearing. Long Chen's dragon family magic power was broken, and he was shocked and angry. The blood magic power of the golden-haired monkey family was very terrible. Long Chen saw such a terrible blood for the first time. Facing its ridicule, Long Chen was furious and sneered. Even if the dragon family gives up the throne, are you a group of monkeys who can't stand the stage qualified to compete for the throne? Don't laugh to death. There is a saying in the Terran that monkeys don't look like princes in dragon robes. Think you can be king yourself by wearing a yellow urinal on your head? There is no tiger in the mountain. The monkey is called the king, not to mention the dragon clan. Even if the tiger clan is here, you can't compete for this position. GG. Long Chen's words, like a poisonous arrow, pierced into the golden monkey's heart, and it ran away in a moment. As Long Chen said, although the golden-haired macaques have amazing blood and long inheritance, they can almost trace back to the chaotic era. Among the divine beasts, they are not ranked high and cannot even rank in the top 30. Because the golden-haired macaques are not very powerful, they are very famous because they have strong reproductive ability. They have a large number of branches, a large population, and an amazing number. In addition, the golden-haired macaque family manages the population by blood suppression. Therefore, they are extremely united and almost will not rebel. In addition, the blood of golden-haired macaques has a talent skill, that is, they can domesticate and control some wild animals with low intelligence, so that they have an absolute advantage in group warfare. Therefore, the golden-haired macaques have a strong ethnic power, but they have always been unable to enter the most forced list of the orcs. Because of this, they are not qualified to compete for the position of the Orc Emperor. Dragon Dust accidentally said something, but it deeply hurt its heart. At that moment, it fell into madness for a moment, holding a long stick and roaring to kill. Dragon wags its tail. The dragon Dust broke his drink and threw out his whip leg. At the same time, in the god ring behind him, a golden dragon tail whipped at the golden monkey like the whip of God. Tong Tian's staff, the golden monkey with a golden crown shouted angrily. Its whole body hair exploded in a moment, and the violent power poured into the long stick. Boom! With a bang, the dragon of dragon dust swayed its tail and was smashed by its stick. The most terrible thing is that its stick didn't seem to be affected and went straight to dragon dust. The great golden-haired macaque clan, you are not a mole ant to evaluate. Go to hell. The golden monkey with a golden crown roared violently. Its voice was hoarse and seemed to have fallen into madness. Dragon dust, Feng Yu was so frightened that she was going to rush over regardless. At this time, a girl in purple suddenly appeared in front of Long Chen. The girl in purple, holding a purple blade, cut off the golden monkey with a golden crown. The girl in purple shot silently, but the moment the sharp blade fell, the whole world roared, endless thunder rolled, and the world seemed to be in a disaster. www.mylovenival.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4566. The girl in purple was no one else, but Lei Linger. At this time, she was like the goddess of thunder standing between heaven and earth, and everything trembled. At this time, she is the master of the natural disaster. The smell of destruction makes all creatures feel afraid. The appearance of Lei Linger made the pupils of the golden monkey with a golden crown shrink. Lei Linger's strength made him feel his soul tremble. No matter what kind of creature he was, he would feel afraid when he met Lei Linger. It comes from the awe of God's robbery in the depths of the soul. No creature will forget the struggle of dying in God's robbery. It's no use summoning help. The golden monkey with a golden crown roared. Boom! The long stick in the hand of the golden monkey with a golden crown was all over the sky and smashed at Lei Linger. Lei Linger was expressionless and waved the thunder blade to resist. There was a bang. The golden brilliance was intertwined with the purple thunder. Lei Linger didn't move, but the golden monkey with the golden crown hummed and flew backward like a meteor. It was as powerful as it, but it couldn't stop Lei Linger's attack. The golden-haired monkey with a golden crown was shocked and angry. Its blood surged and almost spewed out blood. I don't believe it. Someone can control the power of natural disaster and die for me. The golden monkey with a golden crown roared. Suddenly his golden hair stood up all over his body. The whole person seemed to be a big circle. His chi and blood were ignited, and his violent breath soared several times in an instant. Burning blood essence? Fengyu was shocked. This burning blood essence is one of the strongest magical powers of the golden-haired monkey family. Once the blood essence is burned, the strength will be increased several times. Fenjius Rong beast family has been harassed by the golden-haired Tongtian beast branch for many years, but he has never seen the strong man of the golden-haired Tongtian monkey family burn blood essence. It turns out that not everyone can use this move. The purity of blood is not enough. Burning blood essence rashly can gain temporary strength improvement, but the price will make blood thinner. In the golden-haired macaques, the purity of blood is very important. If the purity decreases, the status will become lower. This is not the most important and unbearable thing for them. The reduction of blood purity will make many of their magical powers unable to awaken, and the awakened magical powers will be greatly reduced. Therefore, Fengyu and the golden-haired monkey have fought for many years, but they have only heard of their magic power, but no one has ever used it. The golden monkey in front of him is different. He comes from the royal family of golden monkey, and his blood is very pure. Even if the blood is burned, it will not lead to blood changes. The only price is that after burning, it will enter a period of weakness and recover after a period of rest. Boom! The golden monkey with a golden crown glowed all over his body, and the golden flame rose. It was the life flame formed by his burning blood essence. The long stick in his hand burned and stepped on the void to kill the dragon dust again. Buzz, facing the attack of the golden-crowned golden monkey, Lei Linger snorted coldly and pointed the thunder blade to the sky. The endless sea of thunder emerged on the 9 days, and the thunder moved the stars into a huge vortex. Thunderstorm. The thundercloud radiates hundreds of millions of miles, forming a storm map. There is a storm eye in the storm group, just as the eye of the god is aimed at the golden monkey. With Lei Linger's cold hum, the thunderclouds trembled, and a huge thunderblade with a length of thousands of miles stabbed down in the eyes of the storm. Boom! With a startling explosion, the 10,000-mile thunderblade pierced the earth and turned the earth into nothingness. Seeing this scene, even Longchen himself was stunned. Lei Linger's power at this time has far exceeded him. Cough, cough. In the distance, an embarrassed figure emerged. It coughed up blood. It was very embarrassed. It was no one else. It was the golden monkey with a golden crown. It was shocked and angry. If it hadn't reflected fast enough just now, it improved to retreat at the moment of the outbreak of the thunderstorm. It only rubbed an edge with the 10,000-mile thunderblade, otherwise it would have died. The power of the 10,000-mile thunderblade was terrible. Although he was not directly hit, the blow was accompanied by the locking force. He was still hit by the force on the outer edge and was injured indefinitely. It's just a thunder spirit. Is that your arrogance? I want to see how strong your thunder spirit is. Just then, a cold hum came from the distance. The sound came from the bronze chariot. Then the white bone war horse pulled the chariot, gave a long hiss, and a snow-white horn was born on its head. Buzz, the single horn glowed, followed by the divine light covering the power of years, crossed the void and went straight to Lei Linger. Facing the attack of the white bone war horse, Lei Linger opened the thunder shield in his hand and accurately blocked the divine light. Boom! With a bang, the thunder shield in Lei Linger's hand exploded. The seemingly light blow contained supreme divine power, and Lei Linger didn't completely defend. Long Chen's heart was cold. How powerful was Lei Linger? The fact that he can't defend against the attack of the White Bone Warhorse shows that the White Bone Warhorse has an amazing origin. Buzz, at the moment when Lei Linger was attacked by the White Bone Warhorse, the golden-haired monkey with a golden crown seized the opportunity, bypassed Lei Linger and smashed the dragon dust with a stick. Aren't you a proud dragon? You dare not fight with me for real blood power. Has the former imperial family fallen here? The golden monkey with a golden crown shouted. Dragon Dust originally wanted to summon Huelinger to fight with them. Now it's not time to work hard. He needs to preserve his strength and try to rush into the gate first. He had to admit that the golden-haired monkey with a golden crown had terrible blood power. If Long Chen wanted to surpass him with his own power, he needed a lot of effort. Dragon Dust didn't want to expose too much, which was not conducive to the later action, but when he heard the golden-crowned golden monkey, his head hummed and his blood gas came up at once. Although he knew that the golden-crowned golden monkey deliberately stimulated him, he still couldn't help his anger. Seeing it rush, the endless sea of stars behind him lit up. Among the sea of stars, 7 stars lit up like the rising sun. In the sea of stars, a huge 7-pointed star pattern appeared, and a light column rushed into the sky with dragon dust as the center. At that moment, the power of dragon dust was like a river breaking its banks, which could no longer be controlled. The real power of the Dragon Clan is what a monkey like you can say? Dragon dust roared like the roar of God, and the whole body was filled with stars. The blood-long knife was filled with stars in an instant. The long knife roared and exploded. The violent force seemed to explode it. If it was not released, it would explode and die. Boom! The bloody long knife cut down the Xinghe River, burst open the immortal dome, and roared away at the golden monkey wearing a golden crown with indomitable momentum. www.milovenovel.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4567. Knowing that he should not be exposed at this time, but the dragon dust at this time was provoked by the golden monkey. He couldn't care so much under his rage. The 7-star battle body has full firepower. The stars behind the dragon dust flow, leading up to the sky and down to the yellow spring. The vast starlight erupts. The dragon dust is like a star god of war. It has invincible will and makes the universe tremble. Boom! The bloody long knife roared and burst, covered with stars, and cut it on the long stick of the golden monkey. With a bang, the long stick of the golden monkey was cut and exploded by the dragon dust. The exploded fragments pierced the golden monkey's body, and countless holes appeared in its body. The golden monkey screamed and was frightened. He was about to step back, but the back force of Longchen's knife was endless. At the moment of its sudden retreat, he cut off his thigh. Poof! The blood spattered, and the golden monkey screamed again. One of his thighs was forcibly cut off by dragon dust. Buzz, the bloody long knife in Longchen's hand trembled and was about to urge the power of the stars again, but Longchen suddenly found that his power of the stars could not be injected into the long knife. Dragon dust noticed that there was a spider web crack on this bloody long knife at some time. The crack was not shaken out by the long stick, but cracked under the force support of the power of the stars. It could not bear the violent power. In other words, even this bloody long knife can't bear the violent power of the stars. It has given birth to the wisdom and instinct of life, which makes it begin to refuse the entry of the power of the stars of dragon dust. Dragon dust was surprised and angry. He didn't expect that he could not bear all the power of the stars as powerful as this bloody long knife. Long Chen simply threw the bloody long knife behind his back, grabbed the monkey leg with monkey hair and blood, and slapped it against the golden monkey's face. The dragon dust is very fast. It takes the knife, grabs the leg and swings at one go. The monkey's leg is accurately drawn on the golden monkey's face, with a bang and blood splashing. The crown on the golden monkey's head was pulled away, and its mouth was cracked. The splashing blood was not only on its face, but also on its broken leg. Damn beast! The golden monkey was blown away by the dragon dust and roared angrily. His voice was sharp, just like a ghost crying. It was obvious that he was extremely angry. Can you not be angry? What a shame to slap your face with your legs. It's refreshing people's understanding of humiliation. Boom, boom. Long Chen didn't answer back. He grabbed the broken leg and yanked at the golden monkey. Every time he yanked, the broken leg burst once, and flesh and blood flew. You know, dragon dust is in the strongest state of the 7 stars. Holding someone else's thigh, he will not pity. The power of the stars will be injected into that leg. You know, the power of the stars of the dragon dust can't even bear the bloody long knife, let alone the broken leg of the flesh and blood body. So every time you smoke once, there will be less blood and flesh on the broken leg. Anyway, it's someone else's leg. Long Chen doesn't need to feel distressed. He takes a crazy smoke. The golden monkey was cut off his weapon and cut off his thigh. Under serious injury, his action remained unchanged. He was drawn back by dragon dust and kept vomiting blood. Dragon dust is like a raging lion. It is brave and unstoppable. Everyone is dumbfounded, especially Feng Yu and a strong family of melting animals. The toughness of dragon dust refreshes their cognition. Strangely, the evil flying who had challenged the dragon dust before and the mysterious strong man sitting in the bronze chariot did not do it at this time, but chose to look on coldly. Support our king. At this time, the strong men of the golden-haired monkey family woke up and roared to kill Long Chen. They finally realized that the invincible king in their hearts was finally defeated. The warriors of the melting beast family. Seeing the strong men of the golden-haired monkey family give support, Feng Yu immediately ordered. But as soon as she opened her mouth, a voice from Long Chen came to her mind, "Silly girl, don't move with these animals." Just then, countless golden figures rushed to Long Chen. With a cold hum, Long Chen summoned Lei Linger back to the chaotic space. At the same time, he threw the broken leg in his hand, which was only below his ankle, at the rapidly retreating golden monkey. "I won't kill you this time. I'll unload a part of you once I see you." A group of monkeys also want to be called the king? It's ridiculous. Boom, the golden monkey roared and smashed his flying foot directly. The blood mist covered the sky. The picture was very bloody and rough. The golden monkey is going to be mad. He doesn't even want his own foot. You know, even if it is a broken foot, he can recover the blood essence inside and quickly supplement the lost energy. But at this time, it has completely lost its reason. It doesn't know how to vent its anger. It directly beats its own feet and screams there. Seeing that Long Chen didn't fight again, the strong men of the golden-haired monkey family surrounded their leaders and waited for their leaders to give orders. Boom! Just then, with a loud noise, people hurried to look at the huge vortex. Suddenly, people found that the vortex stopped rotating. "Here we go!" Countless people shouted, like crazy, and rushed to the center of the still vortex. The dragon dust also moved, and the phoenix Yu also moved. They gathered together and rushed to the vortex center one after another. "Whoever is not afraid of death, just come here. Third Master Long will accompany you." Long Chen broke his drink while rushing. At the same time, he held the bloody long knife in his hand again. The stars on the bloody long knife lit up again. After the rest just now, the bloody long knife can accept the indoctrination of the power of the stars again. At this time, the bloody long knife looks scary, but it can't play its power. The violent power of the stars will bring it some damage. It needs time to recover. However, this is enough. There are stars all over the bloody long knife, which has a great momentum. It looks the same as the 9 days when the golden-haired monkey fought fiercely before. Everyone is stunned by the dragon dust. Because just now, Long Chen behaved like a madman, which is why Xie Fei and the mysterious strong man in the bronze chariot didn't make further moves. They are not afraid of dragon dust, but don't want to consume so much valuable physical strength before entering the magic world. Now dragon dust shows his weapons again. It's a posture that Lao Tzu will fight with whoever provokes me, which frightens everyone. Dragon dust and Feng Yu led the strong people of the melting beast family to rush to the first echelon, which contains tens of thousands of powerful forces. Everyone rushed to the vortex together. Buzz, when approaching the vortex, Suddenly the world in front of me changed, and the door of space disappeared, replaced by a primeval forest. The trees here are 10,000 feet high and cover the sky. When people are in the dense forest, they all feel a thrill of their souls, as if there are 10,000 powerful boulders pressing on their hearts, which makes people breathless. Ah! Just when Long Chen and others were stunned, there was a shrill scream from the team, and then Long Chen saw the picture that made his scalp numb. www.mylovenovel.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4568, Buzzing. Dragon Dust was shocked to find that they appeared here, trembled in the depths of the forest, and then the whole world darkened for a moment. Mosquitoes, someone exclaimed. Mosquitoes are very common. It's not worth yelling, but the mosquitoes here are the size of fists, and their mouth is shining. It makes people's scalp numb at a glance. The most shocking thing is that their bodies are full of strange runes, but also with an ancient flavor. At a glance, they know that they are ancient aliens. Run! Dragon Dust suddenly felt bad and asked Feng Yu to rush forward with people. Others rushed forward madly. But the mosquitoes were as fast as lightning and caught up in a moment. Someone cut them with a sword. Puff puff. Dang dang. When the sharp blade cut the mosquito's body, the mosquito was immediately cut in two, but when the sharp blade cut on the mosquito's mouth, it made a sound like the sound of gold and iron. Ah! A strong man was bitten by a mosquito on his neck. He couldn't help screaming. Then the cry stopped suddenly, and his body shriveled at the speed visible to the naked eye. After the mosquito sucked blood, a mass of blood immediately appeared in the translucent belly. When the blood covered the whole body along the rune, its breath suddenly became several times stronger. Dragon Dust, this is the passage of 9 deaths. Only through the passage can you enter the magic spirit world. Feng Yu looked frightened. Although she knows the 9-death passage and has heard rumors about it, this scene seems more terrible than rumors. Ah! In the chaos, countless strong people screamed. As long as they were bitten by the mosquito, they were sucked into a mummy in an instant. The rest of the strong rushed forward like crazy, but there were too many people here. Some people were fast and some were slow. For a time, the scene was very chaotic. In all directions, there was the roar of mosquitoes. The sound was like a fierce ghost asking for life, which made people tremble. In the endless, dense forest, there is only a little light in front. Obviously, there is the exit, and all the strong run forward madly. Puff, puff. Just then, a white bone war horse galloped forward with a bronze chariot, and countless strong men in front of it were crushed by the white bone war horse. And those terrible mosquitoes can't do anything about the white bone war horse, because it has no blood to suck them. The white bone war horse took the lead in rushing forward, and countless strong men galloped along with the shock wave formed by it. Dragon Dust, shall we keep up? Feng Yu's eyes brightened when she saw this scene. Forget it, the guy in the car is very insidious. He must have no good idea. Let's go our own way. You go ahead and I'll break the back. Dragon Dust rode. With that, the Dragon Dust opened the boundless sea of fire and wrapped the people. They were like a rolling ball of fire. At first, some mosquitoes ignored the fire sea of Dragon Dust and rushed over and were killed by Feng Yu and others. Dragon Dust immediately changed several kinds of flames. Finally, when Dragon Dust summoned the Ice Soul Divine Flame, the cold flame frightened the mosquitoes. Finally, he didn't come again to make it difficult to melt the beast family. The strong men of the Dragon Dust and the melting beast did not rush to the front. Although the Dragon Dust did not know the origin of the 9-death passage, his intuition told him that rushing to the front was not necessarily a good thing. Dragon Dust keeps tens of thousands of miles away from the strongest at the front end. This is the best distance. If something happens, they still have time to react. When Long Chen looked back, he found that countless strong people were emerging one after another. Many strong people just came in and were sucked dry by several mosquitoes before they knew what was going on. The mosquitoes are endless and gather more and more, but more and more people enter the channel. Everyone rushes forward desperately. At this time, Whether they can survive or not has little to do with their strength. Most of them depend on luck. Since there will be fewer and fewer strong people in the future, it will be difficult to form effective defense. It is estimated that 8/9 out of 10 people will feed mosquitoes when the last group comes in. Screams, cries for help and cries are constant. The path of cultivation is so cruel. Mosquitoes are overwhelming and endless. They can't kill them at all. If you want to live, you can only rush out under the cover of others. Boom! Suddenly, there was a loud noise in front, and the originally silent forest suddenly moved. On the huge trees, countless vines shot at the speeding crowd. At the same time, on the earth, the roots of trees are winding around people like a strange python. The white bone warhorse bears the brunt and is wrapped by countless vines. Hiss! The white bone warhorse hissed, countless runes on the white bone circulated, and the vines that touched its body were regarded as nothingness for a moment. At the same time, there was a divine light on it. Whenever a vine touched the divine light, it would burst into pieces. With its charge, countless strong men follow closely. As long as they follow the bronze chariot, their pressure will be much less. But the vine is very terrible. Others are not as powerful as the white bone warhorse. As long as someone is entangled by the vine, he will be dragged into the dense forest in an instant. Someone cut the vine with a sharp blade and found that the vine was strong and tough, which was very difficult to cut off. If one knife was not cut off, there would be no chance of a second knife. Hoo-hoo! When the strong man of the melting beast family stepped into the vine attack range, countless vines passed through the wall of fire and immediately burned all over. However, they continued to kill the strong man of the melting beast family, and the vines could resist the burning of the ice soul flame. Click, click. However, when the vine spreads to the public, it has become extremely fragile. If it is touched a little, it will fall apart and will not pose any threat to the public. Feng Yu was very nervous. The comprehensive strength of the strong people of the beast family is second-rate at most here. Even if there is Feng Yu, they are not qualified to enter the ranks of first-class forces, but Long Chen stubbornly leads them to keep pace with the top forces. But strength is strength. If there is no dragon dust, even if they can rush here first, they will be destroyed in an instant under the attack of terrible mosquitoes and vines. Now there is dragon dust to escort them all the way, which makes all the strong people of the melting beast family full of gratitude. Feng Yu looks at other forces and finds that they either change their formation or have strong ones blocking attacks on the periphery. Those terrible mosquitoes and vines can't help them. GG. Suddenly, a shrill scream came from the front, and then a group of monsters appeared. These monsters were small, long hands and feet, just like monkeys. But they have no hair, strange scales, no eyes on their heads, only a huge mouth, serrated fangs, and sticky saliva. Their arms and saws were full of bone spurs, and sword teeth were borne on their backs. They seemed to have been waiting for a long time. When the people came, they rushed out of the dense forest and frantically rushed at the people. Hiss! Suddenly, the white bone warhorse rushed to the front, gave a neighing, and then a shocking scene appeared. Those monsters trembled and made way for the white bone warhorse. They are of the same kind. Long Chen's heart jumped wildly. Those monsters even poured water on the white bone warhorse, but as soon as the white bone warhorse passed, those monsters madly attacked the strong behind the chariot. Nima, I knew this idiot wouldn't be so kind, so he could rush out first. Dragon Dust scolded secretly in his heart. Feng, after you break up, the brother of the melting beast family, rush with me. Dragon Dust broke his drink, and the bloody long knife in his hand bloomed again and killed those monsters. www.milovenival.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4569. When those sharp-clawed monsters appeared, someone was attacked immediately. The actions of those monsters were as fast as lightning, and the bones on their bodies were unusually hard, which ordinary magic soldiers could not cut off. They are covered with scales. When a sharp blade is cut on them, they will be cut open by strange forces, making people feel powerless. Their sharp claws, sawls and teeth are unparalleled. Once stabbed by their sharp thorns, viscous venom will be injected into people's body, causing great pain and loss of resistance. Those monsters let go of the bronze chariots, but stopped all the strong ones behind them, as if they were colluding. People watched the bronze chariots roar away, one by one. Obviously, the owner of the bronze chariot knew that these monsters would block the way, so he rushed first from the beginning. Only in this way can those monsters accurately intercept the people. Otherwise, if the people are intercepted, he will also be stopped. If the monsters let him out, others will rush out with him. Puff, puff. Long Chen holds a bloody long knife. There are stars on the long knife, and the shadow of the knife is surging. With one knife, tens of thousands of miles of void is split, and all monsters on a line are cut in two. Long Chen acts as a sharp knife and leads the team to rush forward. Only a sharp attack can drive the team to move forward quickly. Long Chen does not want to rush to the front, but he must not be thrown away by the team. Because the more backward, the greater the pressure. Now take advantage of the strong around and make use of each other. This is the best impact formation. Dragon Dust's attack was sharp and unparalleled. Facing those terrible monsters, it was like chopping melons and vegetables. Those monsters had no chance to rush to Dragon Dust. The monsters killed from the two wings are just some fish that have escaped the net. They are not many in number. The strong people of the melting beast family can deal with them by themselves. Feng Yu is in charge of the cushion, and beware of the conspiracy of the followers behind. After all, here, the melting beast family has no relatives, and there are enemies everywhere, so they have to guard against sneak attacks. At this time, Feng Yu is full of dependence on Long Chen. Before, when she first met Long Chen, she was full of vigilance to Long Chen. Because Long Chen has a certain prestige in the melting beast family, she is afraid that Long Chen will shake her commanding position. But now, she found that her idea is so naive and ridiculous. With the strength of Dragon Dust, people can't see it at all. If Long Chen is willing to command the melting beast family, Feng will be very grateful. Unfortunately, she knows that this is absolutely impossible. Dragon Dust is in front. He cuts one knife to the left and one knife to the right. It's easy. Those monsters are nothing when Dragon Dust no longer hides his strength. But it's nothing for Dragon Dust, but it's a nightmare for others. Even for the team in the front, people are injured and killed all the time. This is not that their leaders are not strong enough, but their leaders, regardless of other people's life and death, just rush forward. Strong people like Long Chen and Feng Yu who open the way for their subordinates are considered to be different here. Because the law of the jungle, the leftover is the king. This is the law that has been going on in the practice world since its birth. As a practitioner, he has entered a cruel elimination race since he was born. Every crisis is an experience, the survival of the fittest, and there is no emotion to speak of. Therefore, Long Chen and Feng Yu protect the people to move forward. In the eyes of countless strong people, they are a big joke, which can't be understood at all. Of course, Dragon Dust doesn't need their understanding, so he slowly follows the team. For those fallen monsters, Dragon Dust also collects some into the chaotic space. However, Long Chen found that although these monsters were terrible, the power of life they could release was very limited. Later, Long Chen was too lazy to collect them. Boom! Suddenly there was a loud noise in front of him. Long Chen looked forward and saw that there were no dense monsters in front of him, instead of white bone skeletons holding bone knives. Those skeletons are very short, only to the waist of people. They look like children. They still have hair on their heads, deep eyes and light blue ghost fire. This is peeling the devil in hell. When he saw those little skeletons, Dragon Dust exclaimed and recognized their identity. This is the skinning devil in hell. Although they look very different from the skinning devil that Dragon Dust has seen, Dragon Dust will never remember wrong. As soon as these skinning demons appeared, someone was caught. When the bone knife stabbed into people's body, their skin fell off from their body like clothes. The picture was creepy. Those skinning demons tore off people's skin. Even though Long Chen was well informed, he still felt cold in his bones. Puff, puff. Those skin demons killed them with bone knives. Countless people screamed in horror. In fear, countless people were killed. Even the strongest practitioners were still caught off guard by these demons. Dragon dust, what shall we do? Shall we adjust the formation? Feng Yu saw that the skinned demons were so fierce, so she hurried to send a message to Longchen. These skin demons are much more terrible than those scale monsters before. They are not only very fast, but also whisper strange spells when they shoot, which seems to affect people's mind. It's not necessary. They dare not come. Dragon Dust Light Tunnel. At this time, endless skinning demons rushed, but when Huoling appeared and formed a fire wall with fire, those skinning demons immediately became extremely frightened and fled one after another. The strong people of Feng Yu and Rongbeast family were stunned, but they didn't know that at the beginning, Longchen entered the passage of the underworld in Tongming territory, was caught into the underworld temple by the Dark Zhongyue, and witnessed the battle between the Dark Zhongyue and Lin Jiuyan. Lin Yuan attracted the fire of the netherworld and wanted to die with the dark moon. Later, in order to save them, Longchen jumped into the sea of fire of the netherworld. Longchen's Dan Emperor awakened and suppressed the fire of the netherworld. At the same time, Huolinger absorbed part of the power of the fire of the netherworld. All the flames absorbed by Huolinger have the ability to condense. Now it condenses the nether karma fire, which immediately frightens those skinned demons back one after another. Are there any more levels behind? Dragon Dust suddenly asked. Legend should have the last level. Feng Yu rode. Go, don't waste time with them. Let's go straight to the last paragraph and see if we can catch that guy. With these words, Longchen rushed out of the original team against the fire of the nether industry, killed alone, and led the strong man of the melting beast family to kill ahead. www.milovenival.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4570, Boom. As Longchen left the army, other strong men began to leave the team. Obviously, they also knew that the last level was ahead. Now it was time to start sprinting. Through this passage, you can enter the real magic world. It is said that the strong who first entered the magic world will be transmitted to the treasure land. It is said that there are treasures everywhere and can pick up soft hands. Previously, the mysterious strong man driving a white bone war horse had disappeared, but people didn't believe that he could directly cross the last level alone. But although he thinks so, who can guarantee that he has no special means? Now it's almost time. Before, we used to save our strength with the help of everyone. Now it's time to give full play to it. At this time, the strong men of the major forces showed their sharpness, and the skinned demons were killed and defeated one after another. However, the Dragon Dust side is not so bloody and violent. The Yuming industry fire specializes in controlling those skinned demons. When they see the flame of the Dragon Dust, they immediately avoid far away for fear of being contaminated. Because there was no obstruction, thousands of forces kept pace, but Longchen could walk alone and rush to the front. At this time, someone saw the cheapness and began to move closer to Longchen and wanted to move forward with the help of Longchen's power. Annihilating Fire Lotus, in the fire of Yuming industry, a beautiful figure appeared. Her jade hand was lifted gently, and a flame lotus burst out. The strong ones were bombarded by the flame lotus as soon as they approached. There was a loud explosion and the flame exploded, but the strong who could rush first were not idle people. Except for being blown to ashes, they were not fatally hurt. Damn Melting Beast Clan, seek death. Seeing that they were not allowed to take advantage of it, the strong men were furious. The leader shouted angrily, and even killed the Melting Beast family. You're right. You're really looking for death. Huolinger looked at these people and ignored her warning. He dared to kill them. He was furious and his hands quickly formed a seal. Buzzing, buzzing. A bunch of flame lotus flew out. Each flame lotus was only the size of a fist, but it covered the sky. Tens of thousands of lotus flew straight to the strong. Hide. The leader was shocked and angry and waved magic soldiers to resist. As a result, those flame lotus, like naughty fish, drilled into their team from different angles. Boom boom. Those flame lotus blossomed in the crowd one by one, and the violent power made the void burn a big hole. There were hundreds of thousands of strong people. As a result, only tens of thousands of people escaped. Each one was burned black and embarrassed, and all those who did not escape were burned to death. You know, at this time, Huling sucks the fire of the Taiyin and the fire of the sun in the chaotic space, and the energy in her body is incomparably thick. Although her quality can't compare with Lei Linger, she definitely beats Lei Linger in quantity. This time, she exchanged quantity for qualitative change, and tens of thousands of flame lotus exploded alternately. Although these strong people are the elite of the elite, such a dense burst is equivalent to tens of thousands of attacks in an instant. No matter how powerful, people can't stand it. As a result, after this round of bombardment, 90% of the strong people were directly destroyed. The strong people who could survive were extremely terrible, but the most terrible strong people were also seriously injured after such a round of bombardment. At that moment, the leader was completely confused. He didn't expect that his seemingly reasonable decision almost wiped out the whole army. "Damn it, you wait for me!" the leader roared. After roaring, he led the remaining strong to return to the torrent of the strong. At this time, they have lost the strength to charge alone. If they charge reluctantly, they are likely to be completely destroyed. Boom boom. At this time, there was a sudden change in front, and behind the endless skinning demons, there was a huge figure. These figures look like statues. They are over 10 feet tall. They are bound with chains and surrounded by black gas. As soon as they appear, they are fierce. Boom, a huge statue fought with a super strong man. The statue smashed with a fist. In the shocking explosion, the statue and the strong man retreated at the same time. Then in the void, a ripple spread and blew across the battlefield with a roaring wind. Because it was not far away, when the strong wind blew, the strong people of the melting beast family felt as if their bodies had been cut by a sharp blade. "What's that?" A look of horror appeared on Feng Yu's face. You know, the man who just shot, his breath is not much worse than her, but he can only compete with the statue. "That's the hater from hell," Long Chen said. At the same time, a woman's face emerged in his mind. The woman was no other than Xie Qianqian. When they were in hell, they met this thing. They are called haters. They have a very loud title, which is called blaming heaven without handle and hating earth without ring. It means that there is no suitable weapon between heaven and earth. If heaven and earth have handles and rings, they can take heaven and earth as weapons. It is because of this arrogant title that dragon dust remembers them. These haters are extremely terrible. They are not at the same level as what Long Chen met at the beginning. However, these haters are also afraid of the nether fire and dare not get close to Long Chen. Long Chen continues to move forward safely, while other strong people are stopped. "Dragon dust, you see, there are a large number of haters on the ground," Feng Yu exclaimed. Dragon dust also saw that there were countless broken statues on the ground in front. It seemed that there were some residual bodies in the statues, which were obviously killed by violence. It was that guy who did it. Long Chen was shocked. After this guy arrived here, he began to have a violent impact. Boom! At this time, the space trembled in the distance, countless statues flew up, and the violent voice resounded through the world. "These guys are starting to work hard. Let's go quickly." Long Chen knows that these guys don't intend to keep any more. Although these haters are strong, they can't stop them. They can only delay a little time at most. While these haters did not attack them, Long Chen led the strong of the melting beast family to take the lead and galloped away in the army of haters. Along the way, Long Chen saw the bodies of many haters. These bodies were broken and smashed by the most violent means. Long Chen couldn't help but be awed. That guy was really strong. See him, dragon dust galloped forward, and there were fewer and fewer haters. Gradually, a natural portal appeared in front, where the white bone war horse and bronze chariot stopped. "Come on," Dragon Dust sped up and rushed straight to the gate. Just as Dragon Dust approached the gate, A contemptuous sneer came from the bronze chariot. Eat shit can't catch up with the hot, ignorant fool. Wait until you enter the 9-day world and take your life. Buzz, after the man sneered, his white bone war horse and bronze chariot slowly disappeared in front of the door and unexpectedly entered the 9-day world first. Nima. Long Chen was so angry that he was almost there. When Long Chen was just about to rush through the door violently, an old man appeared where the carriage disappeared. Congratulations, everyone. The second batch comes to the magic world. Answer my questions and you can go in. When the old man saw the arrival of Long Chen and others, he walked slowly. Everyone was stunned when they saw the old man, including Long Chen. www.milovenival.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4571. The old man was dressed in green and looked very shabby, but he was starched clean. The old man had white hair and beard, but his complexion was ruddy, his hair was young and his eyes were bright. It seemed that he could penetrate all the laws of 3 and 6 worlds. It seemed that no one could keep a secret in front of him. The old man's accomplishments are not obvious, but no one dares to despise him. The people who can appear here are definitely not ordinary people. As long as I answer your question, can I pass? Dragon Dust asked. The old man smiled and nodded. Feng Yu and others looked puzzled. Haven't you heard of the 9 Death Channel and this level? There was a constant roar and explosion in the back. Seeing that others were about to rush, they were blocked by the old man. Feng Yu and others were nervous. They didn't know what questions the old man wanted to ask. If they couldn't answer, they rushed here for nothing? Who? Suddenly, Long Chen took out a golden lotus seed, spread out his palm and looked at the old man. Seeing the golden lotus seed, the old man changed his face slightly and asked, "Where did you get it?" The old man had just finished asking, and suddenly realized that he was about to continue talking, and Long Chen was the first to say, "This is what the younger generation got from the Sky Fire world." Well, I have answered your question. Please make way, thank you. Feng Yu and others have opened their mouths. Is that okay? They couldn't help looking at the old man. The old man looked at the dragon dust, and a smile gradually appeared on the corners of his mouth. He sighed and said, "Your Excellency is really good at calculation." Im cheated. Hey, Im laughing at the skill of carving insects. However, the road of cultivation is full of twists and turns. The right and strange roads are all roads. You don't mind which road I choose. Long Chen said with a smile. At the first sight of the old man, Long Chen felt that this was an extremely powerful existence. However, he did not bring any pressure to Long Chen, that is to say, this person would not threaten Long Chen. According to Long Chen's calculation, the old man is likely to be the order controller here to guard the last level. Since he is the controller of order, he will not favor anyone, and will abide by the order here, so Long Chen takes a trick and gambles. The golden lotus seed that Long Chen took out was the golden lotus seed that Aunt Gong gave him. Its origin was very mysterious. Long Chen took it out to the old man. He thought the old man would ask what it was. But what Long Chen didn't expect was that the old man asked Long Chen where he got it, which showed that the old man knew the golden lotus seed, which shocked Long Chen very much. You know, so far, no one knows this golden lotus seed. Unexpectedly, the old man knows it. However, this is not the time to inquire about this problem. Dragon dust should quickly enter the magic world. The old man nodded and said, "Of course I don't mind. As long as the first 2 forces arrive here answer my questions, they will pass. After passing, you can put forward a wish to me. As long as this wish can be realized in the virtual spirit world, the illusory spirit world and the mysterious spirit world, I will promise you." And this good thing? Dragon dust can't help but be surprised and happy. Feng Yu and others are also ecstatic. If they make a wish, the old man will send them to the place with the most treasures. Elder, can I know what the guy in front of me wishes? Dragon dust asked. He comes from the underworld Protoss. He wants to transmit it to the place where the ancient underworld god inherits. Now it is being transmitted and will arrive soon. The old man didn't hide it and said it directly. In other words, Only me and that guy can make a wish to you? Dragon Dust asked again. Yes, there are rewards for the top 10, but only the first and second are qualified to make a wish. Those who come later also need to answer questions first. After passing, they will be transmitted to all treasure places immediately. But whether those treasure lands are treasure lands for them depends on luck. The old man said, Long Chen understands that the so-called baby is meaningless. What suits him is the most important. However, those who arrive here in the first 10 will have a great chance to transfer to a good place. The more backward they are, the worse their luck will be. Well, please say your wishes. The old man said. At that moment, the hearts of Feng Yu and others suddenly became nervous. They wanted to know what kind of wish Dragon Dust would say. My wish is to get the guy back to me. What? Feng Yu and others were stunned and could hardly believe their ears. Boom. The void exploded, a white bone war horse pulled a bronze chariot out of the air, and a scarred man wearing gold armor and carrying a red heavy sword came down from the chariot. In front of us is a desolate world, with endless buildings collapsing, broken weapons scattered in the ruins, and a towering hall standing in the ruins. Even though it has been eroded by the years, it still stands. When the scarred man saw the temple, he couldn't help laughing up to the sky. His smile affected the scar and looked very ferocious. There are 2 scars on his face. One is from the left forehead to the right corner of his mouth, and the other is just the opposite. It is from the right forehead to the left corner of his mouth. His face is like being hit with an X. The wound is very deep, and even the bones in the wound can be seen. The dark blue moon, the cold moon and yen, the hatred of disfigurement, don't die together. Now I have found the inheritance of the ancient dark god. When I return to the underworld, it will be the time for you 2 little bitches to be killed. The scarred man roared up to the sky, with endless hatred in his voice, and every word had a bloody taste. If Long Chen hears his roar, he will suddenly understand why this guy has never met, but he is very disgusted. This guy has a grudge against Ming Zongyue and Lingyue Yen. The scarred man waved his big hand, the white bone war horse pulled the bronze chariot and sped straight to the temple. Boom! Suddenly, a huge vortex appeared on the void, enveloping the white bone war horse and bronze chariot, and a strong suction swallowed them together in an instant. The scarred man was furious, and endless runes lit up on the bronze chariot. At the same time, the white bone war horse flew around, trying to escape from the vortex. Buzz, but the scarred man was shocked to find that the vortex was irresistible, and even people and carriages were sucked into the vortex. As the void twisted, the carriage spun rapidly, making him dizzy. When he finally stopped turning, he was stunned by the scene in front of him. He even returned to the front of the 9 Death Passage. The gate was still the gate, and the old man was still the old man. Everything just now seemed to have a dream. The only difference from before is that Long Chen is standing in front of him and looking at him with disdain. Have you eaten hot shit? Silly boy, you are still young. Fight with me? Cut, playing with you is not the purpose. The purpose is to kill you. With these words, Long Chen took the strong men of the Melting Beast family and stepped into the gate in front of the scarred man. Everyone's figure disappeared in an instant. www.milovenovel.com, the fastest update of the web novel. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.